ChairShot Podcast back at you on episode 699. Booyaka booyaka. That's not a joke. We were just ad-libbing between us there before I started recording. That's totally off the cuff. I came up with it there. Little riff on Rey Mysterio's theme song. It's good stuff, isn't it? I mean, this show is just... It is so just... We're vibing. We're bouncing off each other. It's great stuff. It's a jam-packed show, folks. We've got a pay-per-view review coming up. We've got a lot of movies with some TV. We've got a lot of finales to talk about in the TV section of the show. So we will get into all of that. I'm one of your hosts, Barry. Joined, as always, by my ever-dependable co-host. First of all, we got Joe.
Hello, everybody.
And also we got Paul.
All right.
And listeners, can you believe it? Me and Paul, we've done a few too many weeks of work. Time for another bank holiday. I think let me put those feetsies up. They are burning. The dogs are howling here. Let's get them old dogs up on. I'm doing this bit, but I am actually working. I'm serving our counterparts over in the British Isles. Joe will be ringing me up demanding my services.
Where's my order? Come on.
Where's my order? Get on that Twitch. Do a little dance for me. That's what my day job is, going on Twitch doing dances. So that'll be the order of business. So I sadly am working. Paul, you off tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm not a fucking Mark who works in the bank. I was looking through my holidays for this year, though. I think I've only taken 1 day of actual annual leave this year so far. I've taken every bank holiday, though. Don't get me wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean that makes it easier. We do front load them. We do front load them in this country, because then it's like we've got this one and then nothing until October, I believe.
There's one in August. I'm just looking at. Is that right?
Yeah. So you guys have another one in August, which we don't get.
Oh, it says here first Monday in August.
Do we?
In Ireland.
There you go, Barry. You're wrong.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, we bloody love a bank holiday.
But I always take 2 weeks off in August anyway, so that's just an extra day.
It's Lunaza, the Gaelic festival of
Lunasa.
Yeah. Lunasa. That's the CMLL luchador, isn't it?
I think Lunasa is the Irish word for August. Am I wrong, Barry?
Oh,
say what? Say it again.
Isn't Lunasa Irish for August?
Yes. Yeah. And of course we have the famous, as the Americans say, Sam Hain.
Oh yeah. He was in Lucky Dead.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, that's bank holiday guff for you, because we do every other week during the summer. We do it. I mean, men, will we just jump in? We've got a hefty pay-per-view.
Let's do it. Let's
just jump in, and it was a barn burner. I will say that. Double or Nothing from somewhere in Arizona. They kept talking about the desert.
Something Desert Arena.
Desert Diamond.
Desert Diamond.
That's a pretty good name, actually. I'm surprised we didn't remind. I loved him in Saved by the Bell. God rest him. God rest him. Good show. Kicked off with the 2025 Women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup Tournament Final, with Mercedes Moné defeating Jamie Hayter. And I mean, talk about kicking a show off right. I mean, this is the coveted AEW pay-per-view opener spot. This is often a spot taken by your hangers, your MJFs, your top dogs who are not in the main event ostensibly is typically what goes here. And I thought this delivered. I honestly thought this delivered. This was about at the level I was hoping it would be, and it got me excited for them to do it again at some point down the line. Monet winning pretty much clean, wasn't it? She hit. It was like a roll up. With this roll up that is also a DDT. I don't know if that was a botch or just on purpose. But
it looked great.
It looked insanely cool.
That should be the new finisher. It's better than the other one she does.
It's better than the fucking other thing. Yeah, I mean, just go Jake the Snake, bring back the DDT.
Come on,
and yeah, so they had the exact match you'd want. Hayter battering Monet. Monet wins, and then she sprints up the ramp to the cup, which I thought was a nice little touch. What did you boys make of it?
Oh, lovely stuff. Wasn't a 5-star, but I'm going in 4. I'm going in the 4s.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was very nice, very hard hitting Jamie Hayter action versus Mercedes kind of technical, wrestling.
Yeah, I saw some people, and it's not only from this match, but some people criticize that Mercedes has quite a lot of repetition in her matches. Like she'll do a lot of meteoras. I don't actually mind that because I think that lends itself then to like actual swerve reversals, as opposed to kind of one of my bugbears is, and you get this in your Ospreay matches. Again, this is not exactly a condemnation of the style, but something that puts it when everything is reversed. When you get just reversal after reversal after reversal after reversal, it's like, hit the cool moves every now and then, please. So I don't mind when a reversal is a little bit more logical here, where it's like, if Mercedes keeps doing that same move, Hayter, again, put yourself in the mindset of watching it as though it were a real contest. Okay, maybe Hayter's kind of getting the timing of it, and then when she reverses it, you go, well, that makes sense. That's logical. So I actually don't mind.
Also, every good wrestler in history has used a sequence of moves, and the moves. It's not like, what, you can't use the same move more than once.
That's
challenge.
True as well, right? And I mean,
Hogan's in the boot and the leg drop again. That's everybody.
Hogan's done. He's hooked up and he's done one punch. Now he stopped. He doesn't know what to do.
The bloke's punching him, but he's just not having any effect. What's going on?
And I mean, that's the other thing as well. If we really want to kind of analyze the whole art form, the fact that, like you said, Joe, moves can only be done once. Which is kind of an unspoken rule that really doesn't make any sense. Similarly, the idea that everything should look as smooth and perfect as possible, otherwise it's a botch. Whereas, you watch a real fight, and there's a lot of roughness visually to it. And I would like that wrestling would have a little bit more of that kind of grit.
Yeah. They hate her losing her footing on the steps, but then regaining it,
Stuff like that, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we just lost the great Sabu, you know what I mean? And he changed the game. He was like, he fucked up once or twice, it happened. And it didn't impact his legacy at all. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, top-notch stuff. Monet wins. I would say that to the strength of this match was that I actually did think Hayter might have had it at various points. Yeah. Which is a testament, because going into it, it felt like a bit of a lock that Monet was going to win. But for both the Owen matches, they did a good job teasing.
There's a great looking tombstone at one point here as well.
Oh, with Monet flopping the legs around. Yes. Oh, she did so many great sells in this, like she was dead. Money is money. That was that. Up next, an entirely different vibe. Although, funnily enough, you're looking at Wikipedia, longer than that opener. FTR defeated Garcia and McGuinness. I really enjoyed this. Much like the Danielson match, I saw just such obvious bad faith criticism. This is one of those times where someone sends me a link to an amusing tweet, and then I go, I give in. I'm like, well, while I'm here, let me just click on. I'll just click on home and see what's going on. No. How do I just scroll past all these clan members? But how do I? Okay. There's a wrestling tweet. Oh, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay, yeah. Brilliant. And then I saw someone complaining that like Nigel was going, bar for bar, and even though he's a semi-retired announcer, he was shown as on par with FTR. And then they concluded saying Tony Schiavone should have been in there, which is hilarious. Just such Russo rubbish. But the other thing is, with this and the Danielson match, the story is the complete opposite. It's that Nigel's like, he's not. They absolutely do not book him as like Ring of Honor champion Nigel McGuinness, who goes in there and fucking uppercuts the two boys and sends them packing. He's absolutely depicted as a fairly old, semi-retired man who still has a couple of flares, but he's absolutely not sending FTR packing.
For sure.
I think his stuff has been great.
Yeah, but like you said, he's not really sold as kind of their equal. He's a guy who was like a great Ring of Honor champion, albeit a decade ago. So he has the ability, and he will get them on the ropes. But like they fucked him up in this match. That was kind of the story of the match. Is he got taken out on the outside and wasn't able to recover to help Danny Garcia. I guess because that's how he's portrayed. And you just had like Gunter Pat McAfee like a week ago, and you had like how many times Jerry Lawler getting in to fight Taz and the like. You know, so like commentators get involved and be essentially, especially commentators who were themselves wrestlers, getting involved and having matches and being on equal footing is as old as, you know, time itself.
Or for example, the owner's puffy-faced 50-year-old son having a Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker and going toe to toe. I mean, not that makes it better because that was stupid, but yeah, it's Nigel McGuinness. He's brilliant. Come on, and he's in the best shape of his life as well. Have you seen him? He looks fucking great. Anyway, this was good. Not great, but good. I assume it's building up to a slightly more kind of emotional follow-up, maybe for Nigel at Forbidden Door.
Right.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a little bit more, almost felt like more of an angle than a straight-out match.
Yeah.
Still very good. Like I say, I like Garcia. I think Garcia, here's my nitpick of the PAPE. I think Garcia needs to have a look at the old gear he's wearing.
Oh, really?
The bright yellow with the like red boots, like Hulk Hogan style.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I'd like him to go back to where he when he had like the all black gear, that looks super cool. Or even when he came in as like Red Death and had kind of the dark red gear was super cool. I don't know. So again, that's a true nitpick, right? That's not really a criticism. Yeah, really good. I mean, Shivani being involved towards the end and then just kind of standing around.
Sorry, you just reminded me there.
Weird.
Like, because there was one. First of all, they did it multiple times, which that's a nitpick. I'm like, because I think we talk about it anytime they have like a family member at ringside in any wrestling company, but AEW has certainly done it. The constant panning to the person so they can look shocked or look upset or whatever. In this one, there was multiple segments with Tony, first of all, but then there was one towards the end, one really extended one where Nigel, I think he got the shatter machine on the floor. Yeah. And Tony stood up, and did it not look like, here's the bit where they shove him or they give him a move or they do, and they didn't, and the camera was just on them and they were just in his face, and I was like, oh no, he's sitting back down. Very odd. I don't know if they had laid out the match and they planned for him to take something and then they backed out last second and still had that segment of the match done that way. But it felt like it's one of those things now in real time. It was probably like 30 seconds, but it felt like 5 minutes where they were standing near him and Tony was like, "Oh, wait a minute now," and nothing came of it. But I like the story. I like
FTR. Looks very good as well on the other side.
Yes, yeah. Even though they're going against like a mid carder and like a commentator, it's kind of great for their characters because they're just like bullies, you know.
Yeah, they're bullies. Right. But this has been kind of the refresh that they've needed. I think they've been very good at it.
Yeah, and it's I think it's been a solid kind of post TNT thing for Garcia. I mean, he got nothing out of that TNT run after all this time, hoping he'd get a belt and being the wrestling guy and all that. He got shag all out of it. That title's on life support. I mean, it's
for sure.
I thought he was just going to straight up win it. I was hoping he would. I mean, they got to get it on Fletcher, who they obviously actually want to do something with. But anyway. Yeah, good stuff there. The bell to bell was solid on that, even though it was more of a angle. Following much as we predicted last week, we were pondering why this was a stretcher match, but we assumed it would be great. Ricochet defeating Mark Briscoe in the stretcher match was in fact great.
It was.
Mark Briscoe is my favorite wrestler in the world. I love him.
He's got a new mohawk.
He's got a new mohawk, which I'm certain he's growing in just because he's feuding with Ricochet.
Right.
He at one point got cleaning supplies out from under the ring and shined up Ricochet's head in the Shino Bolo. Mark, did you put Ricochet's head in the Shino Bolo? No, wait, you didn't see me do that. Okay then. That was great stuff, and you know he did the blade ski. He was bleeding all over the place. He did a big froggy bow out of the ring onto the stretcher. Ricochet had like scissors stashed everywhere all over the building, which is great. I mean, this is the two lads absolutely at the top of their games right now. Mark Briscoe at one point doing such a great blade job, he looked like Art the Clown. Terrifying when he was running around with his big toothy grin and his scissors. What was the finish of this? Because at one point they did a couple of really good near falls, like Ricochet arrogantly closing the ambulance and Briscoe blocking it with the crutch, and then bonking him on the head like a Three Stooges bit. What What did they do at the end of this? I can't remember. Was it the scissors?
The scissors, and then Briscoe no sold. He gave him a low blow and spirit gun.
That was it. Yeah. Okay.
No, it was more of an ambulance match than a classic stretcher match as well. There was no line on the ramp.
Thank God. Yeah.
Which, you talked about last week in terms of stupid finishes that we've had in past stretcher matches where that's been the case. This was fairly, again, when we talk about last man standing matches and stretcher matches and ambulance matches, the idea of you beat your opponent so bad, you then put him in and win. And that's what this was, basically. This wasn't a fluke win, or he didn't tie Briscoe to the ambulance with tape.
No.
Or any nonsense like that. This was a good old violent brawl.
Especially because, I mean, look, we're big champions of Briscoe here. And we'd love him to get, I'd personally love him to get a little bit more than what he gets. But at the same time, I'm also a big champion of, the guy you're pushing, i.e. Ricochet, he should just be beating mid-carders. You don't need, Mark Briscoe doesn't need and Ricochet's got a new unit and 6 of them beat him up and put in there. You don't need that. You don't need any of that. Come on, it's Mark Briscoe, right? He doesn't need, booking-wise, he doesn't need, Ricochet should just be able to put him in the rearview mirror. I think they just called it a stretcher match because that's, Khan was talking about it as a Sabu homage, and I guess technically that wasn't an ambulance match. Or I also think WWE might own that term now that I think about it.
Probably.
They might do. But anyway.
It's now rated as the second best stretcher match in history on Cage Match.
What's the other? What's one? I'm curious.
Bob Backlund and Superstar Billy Graham.
Okay.
The original stretcher match.
Good company, I suppose.
I mean, if they wanted to, they could do a WWE on and call it like a medical facility vehicle match.
Personnel mover, I would love to, like those thought experiments people do with Victorian children. I'd love to go back to that Superstar Billy Graham era with a tablet and show them Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet and just see if people would have like an aneurysm and just die instantly.
This guy is so small.
Yeah, that'd be the main thing. Oh God, get it off my screen! My God, zoom in. Can you zoom in on this confangled device? This next match had some tall people on it. We had a Rampage Classic here. The Hurt Syndicate defeated the Sons of Texas. Listen, this is 12 minutes. It was a match, and the whole point of it was that towards the end, MJF was getting ready to cheat. Bobby Lashley looked all conflicted, and then he said, "Oh, but wait!" And then he speared, I believe, Dustin through the barricade. So the payoff was that Lashley was actually down with MJF's antics rather than opposed to it. So nothing. This was now it was not offensively bad or anything. It was
solid.
It was solid. It was fine. I mean, my big picture on this was that, like we talked about last week about how it was kind of a card of two halves. Like it looked like a lot of really cool pay-per-view stuff and then a bunch of TV stuff. And the TV stuff like this was all like fine. It was not like a bad television match, but it didn't feel like a pay-per-view thing, but whatever. No turn or anything yet. Obviously, we're still waiting on that.
You need to build up some teams. That's the thing. Because all these around the corner and they have no legitimate number one contenders that feel like they could.
Do you think they'll do a 6-man with MJF, maybe? I don't know who against.
I don't know.
Because MJF surely got to be on All In, so who's he gonna?
And I'm just looking here. All their like hot teams are heels.
Who are the hot teams?
Well, I mean, like Don Callis family, Death Riders, FTR. But again, like we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, they're all. I get the vibe they'd rather do anything else other than be involved in MJF and the fucking Hurt Syndicate, Up next, Kazuchika Okada defeated Speedball Mike Bailey with one of the best versions of the catching a guy midair with a move that I've seen in years. First of all, Joe, did you like Speedball's gear?
Yes.
It was quite...
I thought he's got the mullet. He's barefoot. He's called Speedball. He does a kung fu gimmick, and now he's wearing this Vince McMahon meme. I need to make that.
I did see someone, I don't know if Mafu made it or he just shared it on Blue Sky. Someone made the put the Wheel of Fortune card playing over the Speedball going for that move at the finish and Okada drop kicking him. That was pretty great. This was top notch. This was great stuff. Another barn burner for Speedball here.
Yeah, I saw it get some kind of middling reviews, which I was surprised about because I enjoyed it a lot. I think I put on Blue Sky right after. I was like, that was a banger. That were a banger.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that. I thought it was great. I mean, look, was it full effort Continental Classic final? No, but it was good Okada. It was good Okada. It was not.
I mean, I said last week that this could be a kind of clash of styles for better or worse, and it definitely turned out to be for better. These guys have good chemistry. A lot of good reversals. Okada, as you said, the big drop kick out of the ultimate 88, whatever that was called, which looked great. Hit with the big Rainmaker, which looked great. I mean, Bailey, we know going back to the Dublin days, is a hell of a seller.
Yes.
Hell of a bumper. Hell of a little lad to be thrown around and lariated upside down and inside out. So he made Okada's stuff look really good, which I guess plays into the idea of, is Okada, if Okada's against somebody that doesn't bump for him super impressively, it can come off as he's disinterested. He's not trying. But I didn't get the sense here, I guess because, it takes two to tango, Bailey was also putting as much and making Okada look good. As much of a weird thing that is to say, that someone made Okada, carry Okada. But, him selling so enthusiastically made Okada look really good. And the match I thought was great.
Yeah, really good.
And another nice one where they just had Okada beat him. No chicanery, which was good.
No shit. Well, Okada's going to be against Omega a month's time. So
yeah. So time to start that bad boy up.
Yeah.
Tony Storm defeated Mina Shirakawa in a world title match. This is pretty good. This is my favorite. I think this might have been my favorite Mina match so far.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of nasty, working the leg. I really think, because also it factors into the anarchy in the arena as well. I really think it's maybe under-discussed how well AEW has gotten the women's division on track.
Firing.
I mean, this is the second biggest women's match on the show, right? So you already had a barn burner in the opener. And then this match, is this some kind of 4-star? Make sure I would say go out of your way to see the hater match. I wouldn't say go out of your way to see this, but this was really solid, really good. And it was this second tier. This may even be the third most important women's match on the card if you count Anarchy in the arena. And it was better than some of their world title matches would have been 3 or 4 years ago. I think that's very under-discussed. They've put the work in. They've got the depth, they've got the characters, the people are over. This match had a perfectly good amount of heat considering a completely obvious result,
And the people they're bringing in are really capable as well. We obviously talked about Dynamite, about the latest debut, but I feel like you're going to see fewer and fewer. I'm going to use this as a negative. I really love her, but Harley Cameron, for example.
No, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, where they're kind of learning on the job, right?
Right.
And so, we've talked about this doesn't exclusively apply to the ladies either. But we've talked about when you watch a wrestling match and you have the headlights, kind of, you can tell that they're thinking about what they're doing as they're doing it. I feel like that's going to apply less and less going forward to especially the women in AEW, because the people they're bringing in are kind of the finished product to an extent. You're not necessarily bringing in really young people with potential and again, have them learn on the job, build the airplane while it's in the air. You're bringing in a Mina, you're bringing in a Tekla, people who are going to come in and look really good from day one. And that's going to be the foundation of the division, I think. Very strong women's division.
So they Tony just won clean. Afterwards, they were engaged in a sportsmanlike kiss on the mouth.
Yeah. Which I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get that after Anarchy in the Arena as well, with Mox and Swerve.
Yeah.
But
just Claudio and Hobbs just smacking lips. So that was that. And we got our graphic.
I love Taz's reaction to the kiss, by the way. Hey, they're kissing.
Oh, there you go. He's
sometimes
so
your friends kissing people, whatever.
Yeah, tell us more, Taz. Tell us more. Up next, we did get the Anarchy in the Arena. Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Ops defeating the Death Riders and the Young Bucks in 35 minutes. I thought this was fantastic.
I mean, again, we talked about last week, what music would they play? I don't think they could have picked a better song.
Yeah.
Because the first two were like jokey. They did some kind of like American Civil War flute march.
They just the Young Bucks music just kept playing, is what it was.
They came out as the Founding Fathers, and then they switched to I'm So Excited, which was I'm glad they cut that off after 30 seconds. That was amusing for about 30 seconds. Like, they
funny,
going. And then they switched to Bodies by Drowning Pool, which is such a nerdy pull. But I loved it.
The crowd were so into it.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be if you were at a show?
I would have been jumping there.
I would have gone insane. The funny thing is about this, right? I thought that was really fun, and the song looped, I think, 3 times. And I was having a lot of fun, and I thought the first half of the match was really good. But I was starting to think, I was like, are we getting into diminishing returns a little bit with the music and the walk and brawl and all this other stuff? But I would say they knew just what to do, because they cut it off at just the right time, and then they had all this insane stuff in the second half. The first half was kind of walking and brawling while the music played and letting people just have their fun. And then they saved all their actual kind of insane spots for the second half. They did have, they had, first of all, they did, as you would predict, they had the women kind of split off and brawling all over the building. Then as the second half progressed, they really mixed it up a lot with the men. You had, Willow doing like comeback spots all the time, knocking out multiple men with clotheslines and spears. You had Marina, who was like busted open and interfered in a Kenny kind of dragon suplex spot, and it was a cool moment for her, because she tried to kick it, she caught the kick, and she's like slapping him in the face. She's bleeding. She's calling him a pussy and daring him to suplex her, which he eventually does, and it got a huge pop. It was they let the women mix it up with the men, which. It's funny, because watching this, I was like, I'm not an intergender person at all, but I was watching it going, it's like, this is absolutely being taken down a peg by the fact that they're not going to let the women, get a shot in on the men, because the crowd is so obviously desperate for that, which thankfully they did.
It'd be the equivalent of selling a match as like the craziest match ever, and then you're doing chair shot to the gut, chair shot to the back spots.
Exactly, yeah, and holding the tag rope. Right. So, they did all kinds of mad stuff. Finish. They had Willow and Hobbs wearing matching shirts, which got a good match.
Oh, the big black and jacked was
maybe
the moment of the match.
That might be the moment of the match. Yeah, this is the thing. They really had like the two women in prominent spots. I think this is a great role for Shafir. Obviously, look, Willow can actually then go on and be a main eventer and do high level matches, but also show it out in this kind of context was great. What was some of the other mad stuff? You could stay here listed stuff forever. They were doing like a Mexican standoff with like staple guns at one point. Only one of us can leave this ring. Everyone pointing a stapler at each other. They got to do an exploding table spot. A little bit of a redemption for the exploding barbed wire thing maybe a couple of years ago.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
They did do the exploding boot.
Oh, yeah, which was good. Yeah.
Was that last year or the year I went? I think it might have been the year I went. 2015.
Yeah, that was cool.
The Bucks did it, yeah.
The finish was the baby faces stuffing all the heels into the ambulance.
Yeah, to come back to our conversation from earlier, that was a little bit like taping them to the ring post.
It was a bit, but I will at least give them this much. Gabe Kidd did interfere, which meant it was like I didn't feel it made sense to me then that they would do something to like lock out the heels because they were trying to get the number advantage.
Yeah, I was still hoping we were going to get an Eddie Kingston return.
You and the entire building, because they were chanting it at one point.
We did not, which does make me question what was the point of the Gabe Kidd involvement. Is he just going to be around AEW for a while? Is he just in the Death Riders for a while?
Yeah, it came off a little bit, I don't want to say like a secondary kind of, he came across background character.
Yeah.
Whereas you think after the match he had with Kenny back in January and some of the momentum he had, I would have thought he could have come in as like a really big deal.
Yeah.
And like facing Osprey or something like. But yeah,
I don't know if I would have brought.
Did,
for sure, totally good. I don't know if I would have brought him in prior to Double or Nothing. There was kind of no real reason to do so. Like, if the idea is that he'll be around for like All In, have a match at All In, like fair enough. But I feel like bringing him in played into the expectations that there might be some Kingston involvement, or at least somebody to even up the sides, which turned out to be Mark Briscoe from earlier. Remember him from half an hour ago, which is great. I love Mark Briscoe, but that was a little deflating when it was not a return, but rather just a guy who had already been on the show.
Yeah, it's odd because like I say, certainly we weren't alone. You know, a lot of people were chanting for Eddie. So it's odd. I don't quite know, unless it's going to be a thing where it's like that was the Bucks, bargaining chip was we'll get Gabe Kidd in to help, and then they will now feud because Mox will be like, well, that didn't do shit.
Yeah, so, but even from a non-storyline point of view, I'm thinking, what was the point? You know, as opposed to explaining away in storyline terms why it might have happened. I'm thinking from a Tony Khan booking point of view, what was the thinking behind we bring in Gabe Kidd for this little run? I have no idea. Match itself was really fun. Swerve with his new sneakers, got to show them off with some tacks on them as well for the finish.
Maybe that's why they keep doing this match every year, is because someone has shoes to launch. So we need a thumbtack shoe spot.
I think we do need to give the match a rest now for a while. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
well, and of the year
until next May. Yeah, a good idea.
No more until next May. That's fine. Because I was thinking that going into this one, like, oh, is it going to live up? It was fucking brilliant. I was like, oh, they did it again.
This is the thing. I was the same, and I mentioned there earlier about having my doubts during the music. I was like, this is good, but I'm like, is it going through the motions a smidge? And like, I'm conflicted on it because it was excellent. But I do still think I could probably do without it next year, especially because like they've kind of cemented the Owen as a thing that happens on this show, so you can kind of I know that's no energy in the arena, but
to be fair, All In, if All In's going to be in Wembley again next year, it'll probably be a month later again, so probably the Owen might be later in the year. We don't know.
We had the Don Callis family versus Paragon. Did you watch? It
was okay. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a shame because I like Roderick and O'Reilly a lot. Fletcher and Takeshita and Josh Alexander. Oh, baby, it sounds like a great match. But just on this show, I wonder if you might have been able to put this somewhere else. I
mean, honestly, I think this is kind of the part, because this is the famous death spot, right? I mean, this is
yeah. So what else would you throw the Sammy and Dustin Rhodes match in here?
I don't think you're gonna. I mean, I think they've too much invested in because like the MJF story. It's sad that that's what the tag titles are caught up in, but it is the MJF storyline.
I know,
now.
But there was like nothing here anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right. But also, I would say
either way, if we did that, then I would have been probably arguing the opposite. Oh, they should have put the Paragon match in. So who cares?
of the two, even though I didn't care for that tag match, I mean, This was certainly, I think this was the least important match on the card, but
it was very good. It was actually very good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was good with the people involved.
And we had a big post-match appearance by Big Tana.
Yes, that was surprising. I don't know quite what spurred that on, but Tanahashi and Ishii came out to save the baby faces. I guess Forbidden Door is on the horizon. So
yeah, and they announced that he's having his last UK match at Forbidden Door.
I keep forgetting that's in the UK. Yeah, Forbidden Door.
Yeah. Big Tana is going to be on the show. We better make that a 1 minute squash.
Yeah, or a 17-man tag where he can tag in and do, I don't know, sling blade. I don't know, maybe not even a sling blade.
No, he tried sling blade here. It wasn't good.
The old TNA Bobby Roode Hulk Hogan punch. Like Sammy Guevara runs at him and don't take one punch.
He can do a high fly flow. It might look like that one time Snoop Dogg did a splash on Dynamite, but yeah, people would still love it. Get in there and hit the big fart splash.
Big, huge news ahead of Forbidden Door in the UK. The first ever bouncy castle match, folks. Featuring Tanahashi. Bless him. Anyway, that led us to our main event, which was the men's final of the Owen. Hangman versus Ospreay. I thought with the way they were pacing this early on, I thought they were going to tease going 60 minutes because they were doing the old back into the corner and then lift the hands up and then look at each other and then look at each other and then tease one clean break, yeah, clean break, yeah, clean break, yeah, all right, no, okay, yeah, I'm backing up, yeah, oh, backing up, yeah. Oh, and I was like, all right, boys, all right, come on now, let's fucking get going. But they actually didn't. They went 37 minutes, and I thought this was pretty tremendous.
Absolutely,
this is pretty tremendous. All action as you would expect. Minimal kicking out to face, tearing at your face. Screaming at the refs, minimal. I think these two have the chance to go. Why won't you die, bruv? Why won't you bloody die? I thought there was a chance we make it a smidge that we didn't. Thankfully, I think they gave each other the finger at one point before trading blows, which was fine. I think this is like the best version of what this match could have been, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, big time. Felt big time. Big match feel. Really good. Didn't know I was going to win. Damn.
Right. I mean, we talked last week, Joe, about the promo in last week's Dynamite. That we all assumed Ospreay was going to win, but that promo had us feeling like maybe the result was in a bit of question. And Hangman ended up winning. Tremendous.
But this match started at about 4:45 a.m.
Yes.
Here we go. This ain't going to be over in 15 minutes. Jesus.
Yes, I had the exact same thought.
And the sun had already started coming up at that point. So I was like, oh, fuck.
My stream also went down 15 seconds before the finish.
Oh, come
literally, as Hanger was on the apron to do the bookshot, which got reversed into a Stormbreaker attempt, which got reversed, and then he hit the bookshot for the win. Like literally 3 or 4 moves before the finish. Triller TV, loading. Sorry, we stopped working, buffering. I had to go out and go back in, and I went back in and tried to go to the same timestamp, press play, and it was literally Bookshot Lariat 1, 2, 3. Which, didn't spoil the experience. The match was still absolutely tremendous, but that was a little shit, to be honest.
Triller, so someone kicking down their door looking for 20 quid they owe them.
Oh, yeah.
Accidentally tripping over the Ethernet wire on the stream.
Oh, no, it was just me. It was just...
you fellas, the Hanger's about to hit his move. You just kind of let me off. Don't plug it out, please.
No, it was definitely my internet issue.
Okay.
Joe, I assume your experience was fine. But, that sucked. But look, you get what you pay for. I mean, I could have bought it on Prime or one of the other places, but it's more expensive there, so I don't want to do that. Great match. I know people have their reservations about Ospreay, and I don't think do many people have reservations about Hangman? I don't think so.
Probably,
but,
yeah.
This was fucking great. Sorry, I mean, if you had a problem with this, take up watching, Formula One or something, maybe, because I mean this was exciting. This was rough and tumble. It was gritty. It wasn't this is what we were talking about earlier. This wasn't like the most fluid flippy do match. This was two guys trying to one up each other, trying to get the win. Ospreay wasn't necessarily hitting crazy Spanish flies and stuff. This was fairly brutal stuff, but done in a way that these two guys are skillful enough to pull off. Really, really tremendous stuff. Hangman beat him with one bookshot, basically. I know he did the one kind of out of the corner, but hit him with one bookshot and got the win. This wasn't one where the 5th bookshot will finally get the win. This wasn't kick out finisher. This was top stuff. Yeah. As the star rating, much to my chagrin, would reflect. It
was really great stuff. Also, I think such a key thing in Ospreay improving his game in the last couple of years is he is now at the stage where pretty much everything he does has like a little bit of mustard on it. You know what I mean? His stuff really does look like it's landing, which is hard for guys that do mustard his style to do. Mustard on the beat ho and in your face hanger, who's also not afraid to put a couple of condiments on the old the potatoes. But yeah, top notch stuff. After the match, they did a little callback to Hanger, going back to the cage with Swerve. That's one nitpick of the week I would have, is that they both did allusions to their rivals. Ospreay teased the One-Winged Angel, Hangman hit the Swerve.
Big pressure.
Which is fine. I don't mind that, but they did them one after the other, and that to me that's a little bit
like, bit too cute.
Bit too cute. It's that moment in the tag matches where both the guys are both teams are in a submission. Do you know what I mean? That old moment that most tag matches have.
Or now. The FTR Young Bucks, was it FTR Young Bucks where they were hitting like classic team double teams, like 3s.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Do that if you want, but yeah, just countering one into the other. I'm like, all right, bit cutesy.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? It's a nitpick, but I think it's fair to do a nitpick when you're talking about a match this high level. To be fair, yeah. I think that is fair.
And I mean, I don't think Hangman's. This has obviously been the culmination of this 2-year Hangman storyline, which I don't want to say it's kind of gone under the radar slightly, but I mean, I guess people's assumption that Ospreay was going to win does mean that this kind of Hangman arc has. People might not have realized that was ultimately the arc that AEW was kind of building towards as it pertained to this kind of show.
That's what I kind of like about it. I mean, maybe I don't even know if it was intentional, but it's like, he was the hero all along kind of thing. Like, we all thought we knew where it was going, and actually, Swerve, not that Swerve.
Well, he was involved too.
Not Swerve Strickland, but it was Swerve. Yeah.
And then, like he come back to the ring, shake his hand, as was alluded to on the show, on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Really great finish. I mean, I know, Barry, your final nitpick of the show and mine is no more pink and black for these finals, please.
Oh,
yeah, come on now.
Every time I saw the little pink fluffy bits on Hangman's ass, I was like,
I was trying to kid myself when Ospreay came out. I was like, there's like some pink, but that's like, but those are he's worn that gear before, Or here's my compromise. You get everyone together a month in advance when they're getting their gear made, and you go, hi, Hanger, how you doing? Are you going to get special gear because you're winning? Okay, Ospreay, you have to also have pink and black. That's the way you should do it. They should all have pink and black gear for the finals if one of them is going to do that. I mean,
it's just, either they all do or none of them.
Exactly, all in one. Because it's just like, now we knew Monet was winning, but then like when Hayter comes out in her normal gear and Monet comes out in custom pink and black, and then look, I was, as you guys mentioned, I was surprised by the Hanger result as well. But I'd be lying if the second he made his entrance, I didn't think, he's winning. Okay, that kills the draft. That would have been a nice surprise. So it's a nitpick, but it's actually kind of not a nitpick because it's you're talking about the drama of your main event. But no ceremony this year. I guess because Monet's a heel, or maybe they just would have thought the vibes would have been weird with the Hangman character to do put a t-shirt on and have Tony look all funny while handing you a trophy while Martha Hart smiles.
Maybe Martha Hart wasn't available.
Yeah, and I suppose and I suppose don't bother doing it if she's not going to be there, because that's kind of the point.
Yes.
But yeah, overall thoughts on the show. I thought it was great.
Oh, tremendous! One of their top 3 pay-per-views ever.
Wow.
I feel like we say that like every time. It's like, one of the best pay-per-views ever. But I think it really was.
I think probably Revolution for me this year still slightly stronger, but this was definitely like more consistent. Like, what was the worst match on the show? Like the Hurt Syndicate match, and even that was fine.
Yeah.
There was nothing here where that was kind of notably bad.
Mm-hmm.
No stinkers. Stinker free.
I did have just a very brief explain and I wonder if you're over the debate comedy. I forgot which stupid name we use for this.
Great name. Yeah.
For about a year or so here, I've been erring on the side of caution when it comes to proclaiming that AEW is back. The feeling is restored, you might say, after every good pay-per-view. Because they'd have a good pay-per-view and then go right back to the TV, which has been toilet for a while.
But
I think I have to be fair here, and I think TK taking his medicine. I mean, I think we're on like a 3 or 4 pay-per-view run of excellent pay-per-views and really good TV as well. Yeah. I mean, they're on a great run of television at the moment. I can't remember the last bad Dynamite and some of the collisions I've watched played as well. So is it fair to say that perhaps we're back somewhat? To me, I feel like All In is kind of like the finish line for their redemption story as a promotion.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they're back. I think it's just been much more consistency. It's not like they've had to reinvent themselves. They've just gone back to the core, what made AEW great in the first place, which is focusing more on fresher faces rather than too many old farts coming in. Back to kind of cleaner booking, finishes, people just wrestling and the match having a finish.
Fun matches.
Not battle royals and tournaments every week or non-finishes. I know they've had a few, but not so many. And just a lot of characters that are doing well, kind of firing. So yeah, I think it has been good.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to bask in the praise when you're doing well, but I think a good feather in the Tony Khan cap would be, in particular, getting this Death Rider storyline to the point where it's not like go away heat. Right. Here they come or whatever. Let's just get through this. The rest of the show is good, but let's just get through this. Like now it's like, a perfect fine aspect of the show. They've dropped all the stuff that didn't work. They're having good matches. They've got some good baby faces here. I mean, that's maybe an underrespected part of the booking game is taking a flagging storyline and actually getting it upright and getting it working and getting it firing, sure. which they've done. So that's AEW Double or Nothing, and that's the state of AEW currently.
Yeah, I think the final piece of the puzzle on that point is stop talking about restoring the feeling.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Which they mostly have, but one squeaks out every now and then.
Ospreay had one on Dynamite that I don't think he actually meant. He was talking to Hanger. He said, "We've these people believing again, bruv. Believing in us again, bruv." Yes. I think what he meant was believe that they can beat Moxley and the Death Riders.
Yeah,
but it did come off as restore the feeling shit.
Believing in the company. Yeah.
Which
I mean, it's no coincidence that this good run the last couple of weeks has had very little of that. I think Kenny had 1 or 2 slips, but he's also been away for ages, so you leave him off. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're getting back there.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating. Well, you know what? I'll save it for Dynamite. We'll talk about this during Dynamite.
Yeah.
We had some releases that we'll just talk about very briefly before we get into the Fantasy League update. Some confirmations, I guess, of the AEW side. Abadon and Bear Boulder released. Obviously, those are both known for quite a while. Abadon, end of a contract. Bear Boulder, obviously, that whole situation with the arrest.
Well, that was that was Bear.
Oh wait! Pardon me. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Do you not want to slander the wrong?
Which one is Bear Boulder? Sorry, you might be right. Anyway, it's the other one.
No, because I think because the wait, but isn't the other one now in? No, never mind. Hang on. Let's
Bear
like,
Bronson. You're right. Bear Bronson is the one that was released this week, so I'm going to update the file. Bear Boulder was fired in January.
And is he? Okay, so the other one. Okay, so pardon me. Yeah. So this is. I don't want to slander this man. The person released this week is not the one who got arrested for like abuse charges.
No, this is
fired. Tag team partner who I guess has been basically sitting on the sidelines, which fucking sucks because not that they were main eventers on Dynamite or anything like that, but they got somewhat regular work as enhancement guys. Your fucking partner goes off and fucks up his whole life. You get sidelined and then fired as well. That sucks. I know none of us had any time for the act, but still, that's shitty. Abadon, that was an end of a contract situation, and I suppose the big news of the week was the confirmation that Mariah May, technically still under contract but removed from the roster page. I think Fight for Last Term Management. They said she's under contract, I believe was the verbiage used, so technically still there, but it seems like it is just written in stone and showing up in WWE soon, with the reporting seemingly being that she's going to NXT first, which is completely baffling.
Fuck off.
No ball knowledge all again. No clue what to do. We shall call her Stacey Stimplestife, and your character is now that you are a unicyclist, and you're going to learn how to find a hard camera with Shawn Michaels. Do you want to go to TNA?
The latest thing does seem to be that they bring in. I mean, they brought in Vicar, Julia for like 4 months in NXT, and then they're hot-shotted up. So, to be fair, I don't anticipate she'll be in NXT very long, but it does fucking kill the excitement of it's Mariah May on Raw or whatever. I mean, she was like the women's champion for the better part of last year going into this year.
The one person they didn't do that with was Jade Cargill. She's like the one who absolutely needs it.
Yeah. And it's funny because, as you said, Paul, I mean, like, they've actually got a decent amount of depth on the NXT side of things. I mean, they desperately on the main roster need some fresh blood, and at the top in particular. I mean, I feel like they've exhausted so many of their big matches in the women's division. I mean, what they really need is for her to show up, and not just show up on Raw, but she needs to be in there with a Liv Morgan or a Rhea or one of their top stars. And I was posting about this on Blue Sky as well. And it needs to be like it's Scott Hall. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm
Mariah
here.
May from AEW.
I'm the one who just had the most talked about fucking world title run and match, and you all know me, and you're all fucking excited I'm here, and it needs to be. But this is one thing AEW does that WWE just absolutely does not do. With Cody being kind of your exception to the rule, they really don't bring people in and sort of acknowledge that they're outside canon.
On one hand, I assume it's because they want to portray AEW as on the same level as NXT, right. Not as the main roster, as discussed last week with TNA and AAA, etc. But then it also kind of backfires on them because she could come in as a big star rather than.
I think she's a great get.
To the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah,
she is. But then why are you going right? Oh, you're a great get, but. You can be a great
she's a great get because obviously she's young and attractive and she can wrestle. She also and this was a point of contention when she was in AEW. She does she does the character work they love. She's so ready made to do their kind of angles, their kind of matches. It's just, I think it is a little bit of that psychology. I think because all this counter programming that's going on, which I mean we don't have a news section on that because I don't have 2 hours to read all the dates of WWE putting a show on in the same at the same time as an AEW show or beating them to the punch on a town. But a lot of that stuff is NXT, so it's a lot of kind of like that's still the mindset of how of how they work. But yeah, so there you go. That's official. Or not official, pardon me. That's closer to official than it was 2 months ago. I mean, place your bets now.
Good luck to her.
Yeah, and I think, you know what? I think a good idea that they decided to not do the thing where she comes back to TV to do a 2-week program with fucking Anna Jay. That's rubbish. I mean, when it's so obvious a person is leaving, the person who's still there doesn't. You get nothing out of beating a person who's so obviously leaving.
That is Tony Khan's methodology. If he knows someone's leaving, they're off TV. Simple as that. Again, for better or worse.
And then on the WWE side of things, just before we went live there, the news that this is very bizarre to me. R-Truth released.
WWE continuing to piss the fans off.
See, this is the thing. It's another thing that's just look, R-Truth, obviously, look, he's been there forever. Not much there as an actual wrestler, but one of to their own fans, one of their most beloved acts. I mean, look, we all fucking roll our eyes at the I've enjoyed some. I think he is a funny individual, but it's WWE comedy, so I don't have any time for most of it. But it's just no interest in keeping him. I mean, they are just they are. I don't know what the idea is.
They're so the UFC now.
I mean, I hate to buy into a lot of their fan talking points about how it's big bad TKO as if Vince would fucking fire their faves on a moment's notice. But it is just you know what? He was probably on a decent old contract. He's there for 20 fucking years. He was probably on a decent check, and they said, listen, you're donezo. We'll give you one match with Cena since that's the obvious thing for your character to have before you go out the door. But even that's weird because that's perplexing to a lot of their fans as well. They're like, he just main evented a big like network television special. Very odd. I don't know what he does next. I don't think. I mean, obviously he has history in TNA. I know that's the go-to thing everyone says when it's a wrestler they have no interest in seeing in AEW. But he does literally have history in TNA. I think he could go there and continue to make a good living. He strikes me. I imagine he's probably not strapped for cash after all his time in WWE. With his music
for sure.
and
his
music,
music,
various bits and bobs. And plus, talk about a fucking guy who will be able to clean up at cons for the rest of his years. So like universally loved by their fans, and very odd decision by them, but they are just in, they really are in what are you going to do, stop watching mode, and a lot of their fans are like, no sir, I won't sir, sorry sir, fire more on my faves please sir.
100%. But you do
charge me more sir, charge me more.
You do see, I'm not saying this is going to be even noticeable in the numbers, but you do see on kind of Reddit and stuff, people saying, I'm not enjoying WWE anymore, I'm going to give AEW a chance. And yeah, you do see more and more of that. So to our conversation earlier, now's the time for AEW to get their ducks in a row, because WWE seem every week to be putting their foot in their mouth in terms of, and let's all say it together, it's like, say the line, Bart, goodwill of the fans, which is so important, that they had unquestionably from kind of 2021 through end of 2024, and now it's kind of tables are starting to turn slightly, and AEW seems to be, as we talked about, it was so bad that we were booking the shows for them on this podcast towards the end of last year, and now it's great. So it's all about keeping the people happy.
Yeah, I did see a lot of like clips of Anarchy in the Arena with people like going, oh, like this seems a lot cooler than what WWE is doing, and the counter programming stuff. I mean, I don't think it's going to make a massive difference. I think ultimately it doesn't help anyone. I don't like, you show like Saturday night's main event and then Double or Nothing, or they ran some fucking NXT show with a Joe Hendry main event opposite Double or Nothing. I mean, get real. I mean, it's just so that comparison is not going to do them any favors as AEW continues to right the ship. But yeah, so some interesting developments there on that side of things. Speaking of interesting developments, Paul.
Okay. Long and short of it, Barry, I think you might have scored the highest all-time pay-per-view score this week, with a mere 74.
Oh, is that all?
That's all. Hanger only getting you the 24 points. Won the match, won the tournament, which again we agreed these tournaments, such as the Owen would now get you the +10. Kind of same bonus as you would get for winning a championship, which Mercedes obviously got for Joe as well.
Yeah.
Then got the 5.5 star bonus, which was 6.
Oh, is that what it got? I actually didn't see the official
5.5. Yeah. So which you also had Osprey, of course, as well. So and then Anarchy in the Arena got 5. So everyone in the Anarchy in the Arena match got 5 extra points. Again, you had Kenny and Willow in there. I think we all might have had at least 2 in that match. You had Kenny and Willow. Joe had Claudio and Mox, and I had Swerve. No, I only had Swerve. Oh, great. So there you go. Otherwise, that was Joe got 36 and I got 47. So we were quite close.
Right.
Joe's looking good with the Mercedes win, and then kind of Garcia losing, Briscoe losing, O'Reilly losing, Bane losing on the pre-show, and then winning the same match on Dynamite, which was not the way round you wanted that to be. But yeah, I mean, otherwise then on TV, Barry, since you only got 5 on TV, with Fletcher getting the old DQ there, I scored an 8 and Joe a 12. So Joe actually got some of those points certainly back on me with the TV, but obviously based on the pay-per-view, Barry, you are now flying with 476 at the top. In terms of the overall list, Toni Storm's still ahead by 13 points. Toni Storm is still our number one, 91 points. She'll be hitting 100 soon. Ospreay in second, Blaster Lashley in third, Takeshita in 4, Powerhouse Hobbs in 5. I know I was kind of talking down on Powerhouse Hobbs lately in terms of, but I mean, he keeps racking the points up. He's on 71 points. Powerhouse Hobbs to this point has only got 7 fewer points than Will Ospreay. To put that into context.
Oh, okay, so maybe that
might not be a bad shout for anyone who wants to pick him up. Then we have Shelton, Mercedes, Joe, Samoa Joe, not Joe Turner, Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega rounding out the top 10 currently. That's your fantasy update for this week.
That is fantasy update. I'm not counting my chickens just yet, but I am feeling good.
Obviously, I brought in Hayter and she was beaten last week. Joe brought in Dax Howard. Dax got you a big juicy 8 points. Which I would expect.
Hayter is one to watch while we're glazing Tony Khan, as the kids say these days. Glazing, which is a disgusting phrase when you think about what it means.
Yeah.
The old follow-up on Jamie. We were singing his praises for getting Jamie back to where she needs to be. We knew she wasn't going to win against Monet. One to watch. I mean, laid out by a debuting new wrestler is not
in a 2-minute segment.
In a 2-minute segment, and I don't think they're bringing in Thekla to beat her. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. So
okay. We do have a little quizzy for the boys.
We love a little quiz.
Doing our best Oliver Twist impression. Please, sir, may I have 5 more? That's right. We're playing Gimme 5 again.
Oliver Twist, for those of you who don't know, I think he was like Rev Pro champion about 10 years ago. He did that move where he puts his legs on your neck and then he twists. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
The Oliver Twist. That's the one. Okay, we're playing Gimme 5. We got 5 categories here. And I will say, guys, I've tried to be a little bit more creative with the categories. And so as a result, just so you know, none of these categories have only 10 answers. I think the fewest we have is like 13. So there's always going to be a little bit of wiggle room. You're never going to be left trying to remember the last 5 in a list. Okay. So again, to remind people of the rules, guys will take turns giving me 5 items from a specific category. Let's say Joe goes first. He'll give me the first 5. If he gets all 5 correct, he'll also get 10 bonus points. Make it 15 points. Barry will then go second. Barry will get 2 points for each correct and also the same bonus so he can give the 5. Okay. And then we go back and forth for 4 rounds. And then the final round, the person who's losing can choose to go first or second. So I'm going to flip my little library card fob here. Do we want, and I think the cat's trying to pick me heads or tails.
We've had so many great new features lately. We've had We Laugh at the artwork for like 30 seconds, and we have We Laugh the cat noises that I'm not even sure anyone else can hear on the podcast.
No, this is tails. All right, Joe, you want barcode? I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me flick it here, and it is. Oh no, it's not. It's the purple side, I'm afraid. So Barry, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay, and again, you can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Let me go 4.
4. Okay, so Barry is going first here. Barry, what I'm looking for are 5 wrestlers with 3 or more. This is Dave Meltzer star ratings. 3 or more than 5-star matches. So matches that scored above 5 stars.
Okay. What's the best way to do this? I'll go with the easy ones, see if I can lock Joe out. Okay. Kenny Omega.
Correct.
William Ospreay.
Correct.
Kazuchika Okada.
Correct.
I'm already into tough territory here. Shingo Takagi.
Correct.
Brian Danielson.
Correct. Okay, so Barry, you get the 15 off the bat.
Didn't have a 5-star match before he went to AEW. Very funny trivia note.
Yeah. Okay, Joe. So again, we're looking for wrestlers 3 or more matches rated above 5 stars. 5 stars doesn't count. We want more than 5 stars.
Above 5 star. That's
Above,
another 5.
Yeah, above 5. So 5
people that have had fucking hell.
5 people that have had, again, there might be some context you could apply to that. Yeah, it's not going to be Bruno Sammartino getting these scores here. So we're looking for 5 people.
3 with 5+. Okay.
At least 3 matches that scored over 5 stars.
You had Samoa Joe to the mix.
With a 77% star.
5 wrestlers that have had 3 or more 5+ star matches. Okay, Matt Jackson.
Correct.
Nicholas Jackson.
Correct.
Fuck. Who was in that fucking match? That's right. Who did he get out? What's his name? That one? Hang on. Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. Swerve Strickland.
No Swerve Strickland, I'm afraid.
Shit. Mm-hmm. Tanahashi
is there.
Okay.
She's correct.
One more.
Tanahashi.
That's got to be another AEW one then. Who the fuck has had 6-star match?
Well, not necessarily 6, but more than 5
quarters.
Yeah, 5 1/4 above.
3 quarters. 6.5.
7
3/4. 7, 8, 9.
So far we've had Omega, Ospreay, Okada, Shingo, Danielson, the Jacksons, and Tanahashi.
I suppose I'll have to go for Hangman Page.
Hangman Page is correct.
Yes.
Good shout.
8 points for Joe there. The ones on the list, you could have had Kota Ibushi.
Really?
Zack Sabre Jr., of course.
Taiji Ishimori on there?
No, Tetsuya Naito. Big Tom Ishii is on there. Jay White.
White.
Cash and Dax, of course, they had those Briscoe matches. And then finally, Kachiko Nakajima, making up the list. There were 17 options there. So 15, 8 to Barry off round 1. Joe, you're up next. You could pick 1, 2, 3, or 5.
2.
2. Okay, Joe, you are going to tell me we are looking for AEW Tag Team Champions. Now we're looking for the teams, not the individuals. So any of the teams that have held the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
The Young Bucks.
Correct.
FTR.
Correct.
The Lucha Bros.
Correct.
Hangman Page and Kenny Omega.
Correct.
And Sting and Darby Allin.
Very good. Yep, that's all correct. 15 points, which brings you up to 23.
Nice.
Barry, you're on 15. Can you give me 5 more?
Okay. Let me go SCU.
Correct. They were the first, of course.
Yeah. Let me go Swerve in Our Glory.
Correct.
Let me go The Acclaimed.
Correct.
Oh God. Oh God.
Young Bucks, FTR, Lucha Bros, Omega and Page, Sting and Darby, SCU, Swerve and Glory, Acclaimed.
I'm trying to think who even did the fucking Hurt Syndicate beat. I can't remember that. Fuck. MJF and Adam Cole?
No, MJF
they were Ring of
that's
Honor.
correct. They were Ring of Honor, yeah.
Ooh.
Damn. Okay.
I know 3 more. Oh wait, you haven't finished shit.
No. What a tell me, you can't. I'm trying to think of fucking pay-per-view matches and I'm drawing a blank.
So far we've had Young Bucks, FTR, Lucha Bros, Omega and Page, Sting and Darby, SCU, Swerve and Glory, and The Acclaimed.
Oh my god. Jericho and Sammy. I know that's wrong, but
No, it's not. Interestingly, and sorry, you're going to really be upset with me here. You did mention Hurt Syndicate, but you never actually guessed them.
oh god.
You said, who did the Hurt Syndicate beat without actually having guessed the Hurt Syndicate?
I'm kicking myself.
Okay, Joe, do you want to give me your 3?
Well, I got the Hurt Syndicate, and that's one.
Yes.
The Guns,
Yeah.
Guns. Ugh.
Private Party,
Yeah.
Correct.
Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Oh, I should've got
There's one more.
this is terrible.
Who could it be?
I'll give it to you. It's Jurassic Express.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. I should have got. That's terrible. I should have got.
The other team. Yeah, I mean, Starks and Big Bill obviously lost to Sting and Darby. Guns, forgive you for not remembering that one. Hurt Syndicate, big miss, obviously, and Private Party is who Hurt Syndicate beat, of course. They won after Sting and Darby vacated. Okay, so Joe, you're in the lead, 23-21.
Mm-hmm.
Barry, you're up next. Try and get some points back here. 1, 3, or 5.
3.
3. Okay, Barry, you're up first here. Bit of a controversial one here. We are looking for 1, 2, 3. Sorry, we're looking for Signature Pharmacy steroid customers. Obviously, Sports Illustrated wrote a story back in 2007 outing a lot of these people. Now, there were some people who were confirmed to have been customers that were not listed in that article. I will accept those as well. Okay, so anyone who was either in that article or otherwise confirmed to have been on the customer list for Signature Pharmacy all the way back in 2007.
Mr. Kennedy.
Correct.
Randy Orton.
Correct.
John Morrison. Whatever his name is.
Correct.
Rey Mysterio.
I do not have Rey Mysterio here.
Damn, okay.
I'll double check in the background, but I don't. He's not on the list I have.
Okay, that's fine. Oh God, who else would there? 27. Batista.
Batista, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna double check Rey Mysterio. 1 second. Yes, I think I can accept Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, because it was around the time because he was also on fucking for his knees and stuff. Yeah, I feel like.
Yes, I'm gonna accept Rey Mysterio. Okay, so that gives you, Barry, 15 points, brings you up to 36. Joe, can you give me 5 more?
So Barry said Mr. Kennedy, Orton, John Morrison, Mysterio, and Batista.
Batista, yeah.
So, yeah. Edge.
Correct.
Okay, remember that one. Chris Benoit.
Yes.
Okay, Eddie Guerrero.
It's always the ones you least suspect.
Yeah. Posthumously, Eddie Guerrero, yeah.
Not too sure now. JBL.
No, not JBL. Again, I'll double check it, but I don't think so.
To be fair, looking at him.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't pick a more muscular physique. No, I don't see anything for JBL here. Sorry.
Okay. Trying to think. So I can't really remember, but I'm thinking of the era. Like,
yeah.
God, who else was around? We had Ray, we had Edge. Who was on the SmackDown 6? I was like, oh, God knows. Kurt Angle.
I do not have Kurt Angle here. I'll double check it again. But
had JD left by then?
He was gone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was in the TNA.
Although I do have here Kurt Angle linked to Signature Pharmacy, so I'm going to accept Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
because I don't specify. I didn't specify WWE.
Ah, that's true. Yeah,
he is a wrestler.
I guess before he left.
So that'd be 8 points, Joe. For you, gives you 31. So Barry's 5. The list I have here, anyway. Obviously, we were a little bit fair with that one. The list I have is Chavo Guerrero, Edge, Funaki. He might have wanted to get a refund. I don't know what he was buying from them. Gregory Helms, John Morrison, Mr. Kennedy, Orton, Umaga, William Regal, famously as well, Batista, Chris Masters, one of the more steroided-looking men that's ever existed on the planet, King Booker, Santino Marella, Simon Dean, and then also, no luck with the company, Brian Adams, Johnny Stamboli, Sylvain Grenier, and then, of course, Benoit Guerrero.
Yeah.
Okay, so Barry is in the lead, 36 to 31, but Joe, you're up next. Do you want category 1 or category 5?
I'll go for 5.
5, okay. So you're going to be casting your mind all the way back to 2024 here.
Oof.
It's a very CSP central question.
Mm-mm.
Joe, I'm looking for 5 wrestlers who scored 80 points or more in the 2024 AWCSP Fantasy League.
Oh.
Okay.
So I'll give you both a hint. 80 points or more contextually would have placed them in the top 50.
Okay.
So just because 80 points, you might think, well, what does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? That means basically who are the top 50 point scorers in last year's Fantasy League.
Okay.
So I'm looking for 5, Joe.
Yeah, I've got just having a little think, can I? Just having a little think. Who won stuff? People that don't want things. Okay, him, probably her. Yeah, not her. Okay, all right. I got 4.
Okay,
not sure on the 5th one. I'm going to give you Will Ospreay.
Yes, of course.
Orange Cassidy.
Yep.
Claudio Castagnoli.
He's going Team Joe here. Those are all correct. Yeah.
Not sure on this one, but I'm going to go with John Moxley.
John Moxley was. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Just about. I think he was outside the top 10, but he is correct.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember that.
He was on my team last year, Moxley as well.
Yeah.
I think he was my draft 1 round 1 draft pick.
Fuck. Who should go 5th? I'm gonna say Mariah May.
Yeah, Mariah May is correct, of course.
Yes.
Okay, Joe, that gives you 15 points. You're up to 46. Barry, you are 10 behind. Can you give me 5 more wrestlers who scored 80 points or more in last year's Fantasy League?
All right, refresh me on Joe's there very quick.
Joe had Will Ospreay, Orange Cassidy, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Mariah May.
Okay, can I Tony Storm?
Yep, Tony Storm's correct.
Kazuchika Okada?
Yes.
I know you retired too early. I won't do that. Wait, no. Bryan Danielson?
Yes.
Swerve.
Yes.
Mm.
One more.
Samoa Joe.
No Samoa Joe.
Oh,
No Samoa Joe. So that gives Barry 8. So Barry, you move on to 44. So there's only 2 points in it. It's 44-46. I'll give you the list here. Working from the top down, Will Ospreay obviously was top by about 150 points. Second place, we had Swerve Strickland. Mariah May in third. Bryan Danielson, Barry, you were saying retired too early. Bryan Danielson was the fourth best scorer, despite...
No, I was thinking of Sting.
Oh, Sting. Sting was nowhere near.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson was fourth. Orange Cassidy fifth. We had number 6, Konosuke Takeshita. Nobody picked. Toni Storm was number 7. She's obviously having a much better year this year. Claudio, number 8. Kyle Fletcher, number 9. Roderick Strong, number 10, obviously having a much worse year this year. Moxie at 11. Willow at 12, also having a worse year this year. Okada then. Darby Allin. And then joint 15th, we actually had 16 options here. Joint 15th were Danny Garcia and Pac. So they all would have been correct. Okay, so 44-46. We have one category left. Joe, you get, or Barry, Barry, given that you are 2 points behind, you can choose if you want to go first or second.
Even though there's more, I'm going to go first. I'm not super confident.
Barry's going first. And again, keep in mind, guys, the categories are also randomized, so I don't keep a harder category for last, as you know. Okay, Barry, I'm looking for WWF pay-per-view main events from the year 2000.
Okay.
So I don't need necessarily the exact stipulation or whatever, but I do need who was in the match, or at least some indication who was in the match.
Okay. Now I pretty sure I know all of these. I'm trying to think which ones would Joe know, and I'll
just need 5.
Okay. The Royal Rumble match.
Royal Rumble, sure.
McMahon in every corner. 4-way.
Yeah. Can you give me the participants just to be sure?
Big Show, Rock, Foley, and Triple H.
Tom Boutwell. Yep, correct.
All right. Hell in a Cell, Foley versus Triple H, or Cactus Jack, I guess it would have been.
Yes.
Rock, Triple H at Backlash.
Yeah.
And Rock, Triple H, Judgment Day, and the Iron Man.
All correct. So, Barry, that means that you score 15 and means that you move up to 59 points. Joe, you're on 46, so you will need the full 5 here to guarantee victory.
Ooh, I don't think this is happening.
We need 5 pay-per-views, 5 pay-per-view main events for the year 2000. Barry's given us the Royal Rumble, Triple H versus Cactus from No Way Out, Triple H Rock Foley Big Show from WrestleMania, Triple H Rock from Backlash, and Triple H Rock from Judgment Day. What else happened in that most beloved of wrestling years?
I know.
WWF in 2000.
I know all of those ones. So Barry has played this very, very well. I'm just trying to think through the rest of the year. But so I remember Fully Loaded 2000 was like the triple main event. But I think the actual main event, not the CM Punk main event, the real main event was The Rock versus Benoit.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's one.
That's a good get. I wouldn't have probably remember that one.
That one always sticks in my mind. The other one was it? Wait, you need the event, or can I just tell you the main event? I forgot.
Well, if you could tell me the main event, I mean, I know what event's from.
I forget which one it was, but it was Kurt Angle versus The Rock from autumn 2000.
I'll accept it. Do you want to have a guess at what show
was it? Was it Unforgiven?
No, but I'll give you. It was
No Mercy.
No Mercy.
No Mercy. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. There was No Mercy. So what the fuck was Unforgiven then? SummerSlam. What was the old SummerSlam? Also, what was Armageddon? Was Armageddon? Armageddon out of here. Armageddon 2000, was that Vince Triple H? That was 99. Shit. I've said it now. Vince Triple H.
No. You said was it? I didn't take that as a guess. So
okay,
you were thinking aloud.
It was 99, wasn't it? Because then it goes into the regime.
You also immediately went, no, it wasn't. So you're fine. Don't worry.
Okay, right. So I got Fully Loaded. We got No Mercy.
Yeah.
What the fuck was SummerSlams? That was the TLC. Okay, so Rock would have been champion. Was he? Yeah. Fuck. How do I forget this? I just. God.
Only 25 years ago, to be fair.
God damn it. Did Rock wrestle Undertaker at any point? Rock Triple H again? Was there a three-way? And then what was Survivor Series? Survivor Series 99 was that. Survivor Series 2000 was... well, it must have been Angle 1 and No Mercy. So then Survivor Series was... Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. That's Survivor Series.
Is that a guess?
That's a guess.
No, I'm afraid that's not correct.
No, they did have a match, but it wasn't the closer.
No, it wasn't the match. That was when Undertaker... Was that Undertaker with the pants?
The Cobra pants, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, of course, yeah.
Not the main event, I'm afraid.
So what was the main event of Survivor Series 2000? Come on, Armageddon 2000. I don't remember this. This is poor. This is very poor. Oh, wait a minute. Was Unforgiven the 6-pack Hell in a Cell? I'll lock that in.
For which pay-per-view?
Unforgiven.
It wasn't Unforgiven, but I will give you the 6-man Hell in a Cell. Can you tell me who was in that match?
Well, you've got Rikishi.
You do have Rikishi.
British Bulldog.
No. No British Bulldog in the Hell in a Cell.
Was he doing that one?
No, he was in the...
Was he alive at the time that match happened?
He was.
Wait, what? That was my thinking of 99.
You're thinking of the 6-pack challenge for Unforgiven 99.
Yeah, you're meshing the 6-pack challenge together with the Hell in a Cell.
Fuck no, sir.
Never do that, lads.
Undertaker.
Yes.
Triple H.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Yeah.
Kane.
No. It's
Right,
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin. You got 5 of them.
Who?
Stone Cold.
Who's that? Who's he ever beaten?
Stunning Steve, the Ringmaster.
Have I got one more?
You got one more.
Oh fuck! King of the Ring 2000. Vince and Shane and versus Undertaker, Rock, and Kane. And who was their partner?
Good question.
Triple H.
It was. That's correct.
There we go.
Well done. Good. So I'll give you the 6-man house. I'll be very generous. So Barry, you are the winner by 5 points, 59 to 54. I'll run through the ones that were missed. Okay.
I can tell you as well.
Insurrection is the first one. Barry.
Oh.
He's doing the British ones. I don't know the British.
Go on, Mr. Big Boots, Mr. Big Bones.
No.
Well,
okay, I'll take a stab. I'll take a stab. All right, May. Undertaker versus Austin.
No, Austin hadn't returned from injury yet, Barry.
Oh, I'm doing 2001. Jesus, the two of them.
He just been hit by a car. No, it was. Get this for the UK. The Rock versus Triple H versus Shane McMahon in a triple threat match for the WWF Championship.
What the ruddy hell is this?
We had Judgment Day, we had King of the Ring, we had Fully Loaded. SummerSlam, surprised you didn't get this one, Joe. This was the culmination of, this was kind of the end of really the Attitude Era. I know people talk about later on, but this was kind of the end of when WWE story writing was really class. It was, Barry.
It was Kurt Angle versus Triple H.
Yeah, Yeah, the end of the love triangle storyline with Stephanie, Triple H, and Angle.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle got knocked out, obviously.
The match where he nearly gets killed, yeah.
Yeah. As they wheel him back out, all concussed and not knowing what's going on to finish the match. Good protocol there. We got Fully Loaded, so we got SummerSlam. Unforgiven, I would nearly have given bonus points for if somebody got it, because this to me is like the least memorable one. Barry, give us the Unforgiven.
Kane, Undertaker, Benoit, and Rock in a 4-way.
Yes. Yeah. Bloody hell.
So, like I say, SummerSlam was kind of the end of, or the nadir of their writing. No Mercy was Rock, Kurt Angles we had.
Yeah.
Survivor Series, Joey didn't get. Survivor Series, as I just mentioned, Steve Austin did eventually return from his being mowed down by a car. No, Austin, no, holy shit! As he gets dropped in a car by a forklift during their no DQ match. Steve Austin and Triple H was the main event there. An absolutely abysmal angle, which Triple H returned from like a week and a half later with no...
A week later,
yeah. Then we had Rebellion. The main event of Rebellion was a 4-way as well. It was Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, The Rock, and Rikishi in a fatal 4-way match for the title. And then December 10th gave us Armageddon, which was the 6-man Hell in a Cell, not Unforgiven, Joe, as I said. Yeah. Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, and Big Rikishi. So there you go. Barry, you are our winner this week, 59-54, but a close-fought contest. Very good stuff, guys.
That was a tough one. Yeah. Some good categories there. Well done.
Yeah, very good. Well
let's jump into teleguff here, or to wrestling teleguff rather, very quickly, because that was a mammoth opening salvo there. Dynamite was another good show this week from, let me see here, it says on the right of the El Paso County Coliseum from Texas. Yeah. Good building, good crowd, good fun here. We opened up with Hangman being interrupted by Swerve. Swerve played the footage of the Bucks from a couple of weeks ago, saying they cost Swerve the title because Hangman said he never wanted to see Swerve win the title again. The old disingenuous. I didn't like, they played this clip of the Bucks obviously being charlatans and goofs, and Swerve taking it at face value.
Yes.
I didn't quite like, but listen, they called back to it, so that was fine. So they start getting into it and all this other stuff. Out comes Ospreay, and he's like, whoa, bro, come on now. We're bloody so close to beating them boys. You know, he's like, let's not do this. We're so close to unseating Mox. And the big takeaway from this segment was Hangman says, no fucking chance I'm ever working with him. And he storms off. And then Swerve looks at Ospreay and he says basically the exact same thing about Hangman. So after teasing that they might team, they're like, not, you know, they're dragging it out a little bit. Of course, this is obviously leading to them teaming, you know. But
yeah.
I would say Ospreay with his hair, the most East 17 it's ever been as well.
Yeah. No wonder they didn't take him seriously.
Although, did you see? He did say in the week that the missus had a come to Jesus talk with him about the hair.
Yeah, thank God.
He's going to come out like bald, like Kyle Fletcher, and Kyle Fletcher's like, I'm going to have to cut my head off. We had our weekly great trios match on Dynamite. This is going to sound like an insult, but it actually wasn't. I feel like this was like 40 minutes long, and not in a bad way. I mean, this is just great wrestling, and I was like, by the end of it, I was like, fucking hell, that was like most of the first hour that was taken up by that. But I'm happy to see it. It was Mark Briscoe, Speedball, and Willow versus Gabe Kidd, Moxley, and Marina. So Moxley tapped out Briscoe with the Bulldog choke there at the end. And still no real clarity on the Gabe Kidd stuff. I have to assume that's going somewhere, but this is good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, to play devil's advocate, let's give it time before we complain about what the fuck is going on with this Gabe Kidd thing.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if it is leading to an Eddie thing. It just didn't at this time.
Sure.
Ricochet did a vignette backstage, basically teasing joining a unit or forming a unit.
I don't know how I feel about that. I think heels should be kind of lone wolf shits. I think.
Yeah, I do think though if they do want to put him in a group and they want him to have some people to take his losses for him, and
well, that's true.
I think I said this to you. I think Crew would be a good fit for him.
Yeah, if they're complete jobbers.
Yes, and I think they will be. I think they'll be his. This is a odd pull, but because I think I'm just thinking of it because they're quite small. They'd be his Bollywood boys to Jinder. Remember when like every Jinder segment would be like Randy Orton like flinging them all over the place. A big baby face can come down and Ricochet sprints to the back and Leo Rush just gets tossed into the fifth row. By Will Hobbs or whatever. I think they match his energy. I think they obviously have talent, but I mean they're not going anywhere in the actual tag division. I think. So we'll see where that goes. He listed off a bunch of existing groups, so I think they're going to tease that he might join one of them. But, I mean, famously, the Hurt Syndicate bitched him out and laughed at the prospect of letting him in. So I think he'll form his own like shitty little dork crew, which will be funny. Mm-hmm. I saw him tweeting out. Who was it? Someone. So this week's person that WWE's fans are annoyed is not pushed to the moon. And Ricochet was like replying to people on Twitter, going, "Isn't he works for WWE? Isn't that the best place to be? Isn't that the prize?" Just like great bait, just really great bait. It's Carmelo Hayes, who I think he's had words with on Twitter in the past. Here's the reply to some guy. I don't even know who this original person is. He works for WWE. That is the prize. That is the reward. Shouldn't that be enough? He works for the biggest promotion in the world. They make the most money and get the most views. That should be enough. What does he want? More? Sounds selfish to me. Fucking dickhead.
I mean, he's right. He's right.
He is right. I mean, yeah, he's turning it around at him. That's funny. No disqualification tag: Anna Jay and Harley Cameron versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Again, I feel like we are leading to some tag titles here. They were all in their matching gear and stuff, This wasn't on the level of your usual women's kind of plunder matches. I thought it was all right. I liked it, but certainly taken down a peg by the fact that the finish was a doomsday device. Where, I mean, they were in El Paso and Penelope Ford, I'm pretty sure, landed in Canada. On that finish. I mean, could not have missed any further on that, which did take it down. Other than that, it was fine. They did their weapon stuff. It wasn't any kind of crazy, match, but it was all right.
Yeah, the word is that Harley was injured in the match at the pay-per-view, and so maybe that explains why Penelope didn't exactly lay it in when they're hitting that.
Yeah, and she also her nose was. It looked like her nose was messed up in this match as well. And
that was apparently fake.
Oh, really?
Is the word. I totally bought into. I was like, oh my god, she's killed here,
because she kind of seemed a little out of it as well.
I think Alvarez was saying that was planned.
Okay, that's fair enough. Because I wasn't sure because it looked like it was really throwing her off, but then it was like she went into the steps and came up with a bloody nose. So I was like,
I was sure that it was real.
Yeah, very odd.
I was on the other side. Anna Jay also seemed to get messed up.
Yeah, I mean, look, they go into these matches, and I think they don't want to be seen as half-assing it relative to the men. So they kicked the shit out of each other. They did kick the shit out of each other. To be fair,
yes.
Yeah. So there you go. I feel like Ford and Bayne, if they do roll out tag titles, I mean, that seems like the obvious direction. Even though Ford's not very good, but I think they will give Bayne the reign. I think they want to do that in some capacity. Up next was the debut of my new favorite act in AEW, possibly forever. The Ops versus Frat House. Now, if you know what I like about Ricochet and his character, and even to a certain extent, Max Caster's little thing he's doing, I love some lower card twerps. These fucking guys come out. It is the most like 2000s WWE crap gimmick inspired by like shit films. It's this trio: Preston Vance, Griff Garrison, remember him, and Cole Carter, fake Sting, right? Accompanied by Jack Jameson, okay, and a bunch of, I guess, local indie guys who are like their pledges, and they're going to with the fucking frat bros, and they have the greatest catchphrase ever, which is "Win or lose, we booze." So ludicrous. They're up against the Ops. It's just such a perfect like dichotomy. who are just so no nonsense, and the entire they fling him around for a while, and the entire second half of the match is just all like 9 of the lads getting into the ring and being tossed around by Hobbs, who just beat the shit out of them. This was a lot of fun. This was
good. They've tried a few of these shit groups before. They've not really landed with me, but this is the first one. I'm like, oh god, then.
Yeah, it's not the Iron Savages.
Let's treat ourselves to a little shitty.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's more fun than like the Iron Savages or any of that. Or what was the Wingman? That was rubbish. No.
We should do. Speaking of like brackets and tournaments, we should do a jobber stable tournament of all the greatest jobber groups from our history.
The Truth
Job
Busters.
Squad, the Oddities, Job Squad, BWO, the Wingmen. No, not the Wingmen. They should.
Does anybody remember the Truth Busters? Wasn't that like
who else was in that?
It was like Sonny Kiss.
Wasn't that the
fake Brock Lesnar guy?
Parker. Yeah. Before he was with Swerve, he was in that.
Oh, and not Davari. Yeah, it was Davari.
Davari. Yeah.
Sorry, Davari.
And there was Slim J.
Oh, here we go. Slim J. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a group there.
What a group.
This was the back in the days. There was both Rampage and Dark at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good fun. Good. Yeah, that was that wasn't a title match. No, it was just a trios match.
No, it's just a match.
This is where we got the previously alluded to Jamie Hayter dresses her future, except she doesn't because she's immediately taken out by Thekla, who is an Austrian indie prospect, who I believe was considered something of a hot commodity, and I think AEW won out on that one.
Yeah,
she's called the Toxic Spider. She looks good. She's got more abs than I'll ever have in my life. And she does she's called the Toxic Spider. She does like a bend over backwards type thing. So there you go. I've never seen her. I don't know. I've heard good things, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It doesn't, because you have to imagine she wins her first program. I don't know. I would hate to see Hayter slotted here. But we'll see.
Yeah. I just feel like, I mean, God, you guys are going to be very disapproving of me suggesting that the frat house shouldn't be cut, but like, this segment needed to be not even twice as long, 4 times as long as it was.
I don't quite get that logic though, because I had seen other people saying that, and I thought the whole idea was that Jamie Hayter got cut off before she could, like, that was the point, that she got cut short.
But so even when she came out, there wasn't anything to it. Like, she hit her with like a forearm and then did a pose. Even the beatdown felt rushed.
It's just a longer beatdown is.
I don't know. I feel like the way it was done stripped it.
It was rushed. It was slightly rushed.
Kind of, yeah.
But I don't think it should have been like a long segment where she does an interview. Like, I like the idea that the segment got cut short, and then you could have had a bigger beatdown. I guess it was a bit of a rushed one.
Because I mean, the lights go out, her music starts playing, and she's in the ring already, and Hayter's on the floor already. Which I guess, to your point, she jumped her or whatever, that's cool. But like, I don't know. I don't feel like the impact of the segment really stayed with me. It was it happened and immediately to the next thing, you know?
Yeah.
She could have done a promo. She could have done something afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of a boilerplate segment, wasn't it? Like, we didn't actually get to hear anything from Jamie Hayter, and Thekla didn't really do much, you know. So we'll see.
She's here anyway.
She's here. That was the main thing. They got that across. Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship following the pay-per-view tag finish. I thought it was all right, you know, for as negative as I am on Cole lately. They were having an all right little match. I think that's kind of funny. It just ended in a DQ with Alexander just running in and hitting Cole right in front of the ref, which was, you know, odd and not great. Because I mean, again, I'm the low man on Cole, but I was like, I was ready for him to just hit him with a move and pin him, and which I think might still be on the cards. But there you go. What you make of the match? I thought it was all right.
It was okay. I mean, Adam Cole, for as much as we don't love Adam Cole, but I think once he gets going, he's fine. Just the finishes are a bit crap. This obviously had the power bomb on the apron spot, where he they missed the apron, which apparently Adam Cole didn't actually hit his head on it. The sound was like his arm hitting the apron.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he just took a flush powerbomb to like the floor?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound much better to me. I think we have to go all fuddy-duddy again here and say, do we need to be doing violent apron power bombs near like middle of Dynamite match? Like, is it worth the risk to be doing that?
Yeah,
I mean, I think the moves become a little too commonplace, like all wrestling moves do, you know. God, I remember back in my gather round children. I remember back in my day when this move was done as like an injury. I don't know. It's easy to say when something goes wrong, and you can all go, "Oh my God!" and clutch your pearls.
Yeah.
And then when they do these moves on every single show, we say nothing.
Yeah,
But it only takes one to go badly wrong, and luckily this one didn't. It only takes to go badly wrong for you to go, "Oh, was that worth it? Was that?" And I know that's true of any move. Like, what's the famous one? John Cena tore his pec doing a hip toss. Okay, fair enough. Freak accidents happen, but it's kind of, don't give them the opportunity to happen, I guess, you know? I mean, if Cole was bad in third here, we know his history with like concussion, even before the ankle injury. Remember his original lengthy period out after Forbidden Door, right? Where he got concussed and was out for like a year. I don't know if this needed to be done. I don't think the match was, you know, I wasn't popping because he got powerbombed on the apron.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's needed. And then Brody King came out, and yeah, they had obviously they're led directly into their match, which was a fun little segue. Their match was also really good. And unlike the powerbomb on the apron, I will always pop for a big old Gonzo bomb.
Yeah,
one of the best looking finishes in wrestling.
Yeah, it was good fun. Alexander's been a good get for them. This is a qualifier for the 4-way for the international title that also has Kenny in it.
That's on this week's Dynamite. Yeah.
This week's Dynamite, which is a 4-hour broadcast. I'm not quite sure why they're doing that, but
be a bit of fun. I'll probably not be watching it as a 4-hour block. I'll just say that.
No, that's. I assume they're not doing Collision this week. Is that why that is, or?
I guess it is like Collision will just air after Dynamite. I guess it's probably because even when they have done that previously, they will, even if it's 4-hour block, right? They will still do the first 2 hours as Dynamite, and the most important thing will air at the end of the second hour, and then the show will just continue with less important stuff, which I'm guessing will happen here.
Mm-hmm. Fletcher and Cole argued backstage with Adam Cole saying he was going to kill him, which is kind of a funny, exaggerated thing to say after a guy ran in on your match. So there you go. So I guess
Adam Cole had match one when
he basically has
the thing. Yeah.
We had our Monet and Tony Storm face off to conclude the show. Monet came out how, you know, legends of Owen Hart and her idol Eddie Guerrero can't compare to her outcomes. Tony hyped up how long she's been waiting to have this match in basically the entire time Monet's been in the company. Drew attention to the fact that they were two kind of like, you know, bet on yourself, leave the other place style stories, which is absolutely true. You know, and talked about how I had a really great line where she talked about how Monet has all those titles, but I've only ever needed this one.
Yeah, the most important one,
which was good. The most important one, which is great. And then they teased getting physical and hitting each other with finishes, and then Monet ran away, and there you go. I thought this was very effective. To have like just the two of them come out and do a fairly simple face off for the main event of the show, I thought was a pretty interesting move, but I thought they pulled it off quite well.
It was good. It was a good segment. Yeah, and it makes it feel bigger. It makes it feel bigger when you have it in that slot. Just even though it's a bit of a strange ending, it's like I was looking forward to it as well. When I realized there was 10 minutes left, I was like, "Oh, what's happening next?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, Tony and Mercedes, yeah. That's what give me what I want." So yeah.
At the start, it seemed like, I don't know, that Tony came off a little unsure. It's like Toni Storm is this huge personality who can kind of overshadow the other people if they're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Mercedes was strong enough that it did seem at like the first maybe minute or two that Toni was a little reserved, but she obviously came out by the end of it. They were equal. Mm-hmm. Interesting again, like the Okada Speedball. It does feel like this has the potential to be a weird clash of styles promo-wise, because Mercedes comes off so rehearsed and so WWE style, and Toni comes off so off the cuff and so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of weirdly worked, and I guess like the star power of these two women, they're by far the two big stars they have on the women's side. And yeah, it felt like a big deal, and the match feels important. It feels like a big deal. Storm still got the Toni tunnel references in the Monet train going up the Toni tunnel. Did you see, by the way, Toni at the post pay-per-view presser popping herself?
No.
Very funny, very funny. She was saying because they're in El Paso, obviously, or this was, and All In's got to be in Texas. It's got to be in Arlington. And somebody was interviewing saying, in Texas, everything's bigger in Texas. Is there anything bigger than Mercedes and Toni Storm? Toni said, well, my big bottom is very big. And then Tony Khan was interrupting and saying, well, when we were in negotiations for Mercedes to sign, she said that the one match she really wanted to have was with you, Toni Storm. Toni says, why? Is it because of my big bottom? She was popping herself. She'll be on the Botchamania. Toni Storm corpsing, send for the man. And then she was calling her Mercedes Money the whole time. And then one time she said Monet by accident, and then said Money, and then let a big smile and a chuckle out. Tremendous stuff. And then when Luther was carrying her away, kicked over a big bunch of water bottles right onto Renee, which was just tremendous as well. Great stuff. Yeah. I'm all in, no pun intended, on these two.
So that was Dynamite. There's another strong Dynamite there coming out of the pay-per-view and heading on to the next pay-per-view. So there you go.
Anyone watch Collision?
I didn't watch Collision. Yeah.
No.
How was the finale of Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh, very good, very good. Although I think I might have said before, I feel like what else can they do? This might well serve to be a series finale. So, I do think this season they've started to kind of run on fuse a bit. There were some good episodes. Billy Jack Haynes, Daphne were kind of unique enough to be worth doing, but a lot of the profiles, kind of like I said, there's a lot of boilerplate kind of episodes. But Muhammad Hassan, I feel like, is a story that they've taken their while to get around to. One of the more notable flash in the pans. And he was interviewed on it himself, Mark Capani. Very forthcoming about how he felt about the gimmick and the direction it went in and ultimately where it ended up. We did not get Jim Ross being choked, which probably is for the best given Jim Ross's current circumstance.
Yes, of course.
Cliv did not make an appearance. People will be happy to hear. Well, Mohammed, by God, you love America, you leave it. They did, but they didn't really go into how the baby faces. They touched on how kind of the Muhammad Hassan character initially was a wronged, a character who was in the right in what he was saying. He gets treated differently because of what he looks like, or his ethnicity rather than who he is as a foot. The character initially was from a very true place, and was justified in what he did, and obviously by the end was like a terrorist. So the character turned 180. But they didn't really touch on how jingoistic the babyface side in return got, like the Jim Ross Jerry Lawler segment, where it really was like racist and xenophobic in how the baby faces would approach this character when the character was still justified, you know? Again, lines like "Love America" or "By God, leave it" in 2025 carry a specific weight to them, you know? And that was the babyface response to this character. So in a sense, I think the layers that the character originally had were probably ahead of its time. And if you were to do that today, I think it would be interesting from a tweener or even babyface point of view to have such a character. But the fact that character was out now to heel, even though the character, like I said, was justified, was, you know, said a lot about WWE and about kind of America at the time, I guess. But yeah, very interesting story. They do touch on, you know, the character being written off TV after the London bombings incident. Mm-hmm. But I think that character had a very limited shelf life anyway. I mean, even if Muhammad Hassan was not written off, I mean, I think he was like 6 months away from dancing babyface, you know, like a Lord Tensai style. He would have been coming out in a bra or something, you know. That character was not long for the world anyway. Yeah, it really had run its course. It's just a shame for him because he seemed like a super nice guy. More than capable wrestler, great look, great promo skills, good in ring. And just because of this controversy, he was basically ousted from the company. And it does go into kind of his reaction and kind of some of the, you know, mental health issues he had in the wake of, through no fault of his own. That dream you've been working towards for like the better part of a decade, that's just over now. You know, he was basically blacklisted because the character was, which did seem very unfair. Like, but yeah, it was a good watch. But like I say, I think that should probably be it for Dark Side of the Ring. I would really struggle to think of what else they could do. But it's been a good show. Been a good show for these 6 years. But I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I saw them already putting out a request for, hey, what would you do if we were doing season 7? Like, you know.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it?
So, yeah, that's that. I do need to catch up. Movie go. There's a lot of movies this week. I just saw one movie I'll make mention of. I saw the other Osgood Perkins film from the last year. Saw The Monkey, Stephen King's The Monkey, which I feel like had a lot of hype, and then when it came out, people were very muted on it. I really liked it. I thought it was really, really funny, really silly, really kind of gruesome when it needed to be.
Right.
I think Stephen King and Perkins are a very good fit. I kind of see, as someone who really liked it, I can kind of see what people might not have liked about it. I would call it a horror comedy, but it's not as overtly a comedy as, say, like a Christopher Landon horror movie. It's more of a the characters talk and act a bit like the freaks in a Stephen King book actually do talk and act. There's been very little mainstreaming or sanding down of his kind of oddball tendencies for this. Now, I've not read The Monkey, but just his, you know, the general weirdness that goes on in his books. It's odd. The dialogue is kind of odd and weird, and the performances are a little bit kind of out there. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I was kind of surprised by the muted reception once it finally came out. But yeah, good fun. It's kind of the premise is it's kind of a broad. It's a bit Final Destination-y via Stephen King, Middle America. Spookiness. Yeah, good stuff. Very good. It's like 90 minutes as well. I would give it a very solid thumbs up.
Have you seen any of Osgood Perkins' stuff prior to Longlegs, like Blackcoat's Daughter or any of that stuff?
No, I've only just seen those two.
Right, because I do want to check that one out. I've heard that one's quite good.
Yeah, it's good fun. And it's the latest in the genre of an actor playing twins. Theo James plays two brothers and two very different performances. It's really good, actually. I really like his two turns in this. And also, one thing I greatly appreciated, unless there's maybe one quick shot I am missing, No CGI. They old school. They just shoot the scenes where they're in the same room together, like over one of their shoulder, looking at the other one. There's no Theo James is standing next to an actor whose face has been CGI'd over. You know, that was great in like Sinners, but a lot of times it doesn't look great. They went very old school on it, and they simply do not stand next to each other for any of those scenes. But yeah, there you go. The monkey thumbs up. What are you boys seeing this week?
Well, but Mission Impossible, Paul. You seen both of them?
I think you and I both watched one of them at least.
I did watch Dead Reckoning finally, which
that was your first time.
My first, not seeing Mission Impossible. No, I've seen a few of them.
But seeing Dead Reckoning, I'm saying.
Seeing Dead Reckoning, yes. It only just got added to streamers, I think. Well, at least the streamer I've got. Okay. It's quite long.
It is. 246, I think it was. Coming
in just shy of an AEW pay-per-view there, 2044. It was fun. I will say I did not understand a single thing that was happening for, let's say 80% of the movie.
Okay.
It was just people talking gibberish. I was like this and that, and we got to get the thing and the submarine and this. I had no idea what was going on, but I did pop when Tom Cruise takes the mask off and it's Tom Cruise. I'm like, wow!
Oh, of course.
And then I did like the final sequence when they're gearing up to get on the Orient Express.
Yes.
And he's trying to figure out how to get on it, and then the famous kind of motorbike stunt.
Yeah.
And that whole sequence on the train where they're climbing up the train kind of thing. All that was great. You can feel, I think what it does better than anyone, even the Bond movies, is that kind of sense of genuine physics and real gravity. You feel like
for sure
actually hanging off of stuff. It's not like, they're in a studio 15 foot off the ground with a green screen behind them. You know what I mean? You're like, who cares? Like, you feel like they're hanging off a train track, and it's like very thrilling to see that. And the plot and the characters, because I haven't really, I've seen some of the previous ones, but not all of them. Yeah. So all these people are coming in, and I'm like, I don't know who she is. I don't know who he is. I don't know what's going on.
A lot of characters were introduced in that movie. So it might not have even been callbacks, even though they kind of play it that way.
But they bring in the White Widow, and I'm like, ooh, the White Widow.
She was in Fallout. She was in Fallout.
I need a video package, really, to introduce.
Oh, you're a WWE fan. Who are these New Japan guys? I don't know what's going on.
I think before any previous character comes on, give me a little video package before they get up to the previous films.
Well, Joe, let me tell you, you will love Final Reckoning in that case. Because the first hour is all video packages.
Sounds great. So
I rewatched Dead Reckoning Part 1, as it's still officially known, the night before I saw the new one. I think it's quite good. I think I went a 7 on it, 3.5 stars. It's definitely very MacGuffin-y. It's and the dialogue is so fucking bad. I don't know if it's because I watched it in isolation, and then when I watched them all, because when I previously saw Dead Reckoning Part 1, I watched all 6 previous movies and then went straight to number 7. So maybe it just all kind of blurred together. But when you watch the movie on its own, the whole movie is, this entity truly will forge our destiny. It's like no one speaks that. The whole movie is that. It's these people talking in like sound bites. It's completely unnatural and completely like overwrought and phony, like all the dialogue. And one of the issues I think was better on rewatch was when the movie came out originally, you could not avoid the trailers that showed the big old stunt that the whole movie builds towards. And then when you go and watch the movie, the whole time you're waiting for, I can't wait, when's he going to jump his motorbike off this mountain? And then when it comes, then you get the feeling, actually, I've already seen it, so it's not as impactful. So when you watch the movie, not having those images drilled into your brain every time you go to the cinema or every time you turn the TV on, I thought it was much better. I thought it was great. Little too much CGI for my liking, even on that shot itself. Because I think that when he jumped off, then they have like a ramp or whatever for him, and they like cleaned it up, but it looks a bit CGI. Still the best thing in the movie. I think from as Joe said, From the moment they set the Orient Express, from the first time you see that train to the end of the movie, that's when the movie's at its best.
Yeah.
That's also true of the new one. Again, the Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning are two movies that are very similar in structure and in strengths and weaknesses. What did I liked? Palm. Forgive me for not knowing her surname. Clementieff. I like her. I like that she only speaks French and everybody understands her somehow. And
well, they speak French, presumably.
Simon Pegg is like, oui, oui, c'est ça.
She's not an alien. I mean, they could speak French.
Not once did they get the Google Translate out on the phone.
But I like Tom Cruise was speaking French back to her, and he's like the most American accent.
Yeah. Oui, oui, c'est ça, n'est-ce pas?
No, rest ici.
He is like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards going Gorlami. Tom Cruise does a lot of running. But yeah, the plot, I mean, the plot is super dumb. In both movies, I mean, the entity, and okay, it's about AI and it's about topics that are true today, but the way it does it is so messy and silly, and like I guess it suits this kind of movie. It's fine. I tell you who I thought was excellent in it, Joe. It's not Tom Cruise. Cary Elwes.
Oh, yeah, well, he's great.
He was having so much fun. In comparison, the actual villain, Gabriel, that guy?
Yeah.
Fucking terrible. Boring, flat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who is that guy? He's rubbish.
Just some guy. And then Cary Elwes is fucking chewing the scenery next to him. Like, he didn't, you've done it wrong. This guy's...
If you want a good villain, get yourself a Brit. That's what you got to do.
Oh, he's so good in it. But yeah, your man who plays Gabriel... A little bit monotone, a little bit boring. And also, the start of Dead Reckoning where they're like, the reason Tom Cruise is in the IMF is because Gabriel killed his wife. In this backstory we're only setting up now in the seventh movie. Like, why is that? Stupid. But I still quite like it. I think it's not as good as Fallout. And I think Fallout was for me the pinnacle of the series, that it was kind of always going to be slightly worse. And so it's true of Final Reckoning. I mean, you could call it Mission Impossible fell off, maybe. I wouldn't say it's quite that bad. But Final Reckoning then is kind of more the same. It is a movie of two halves, as Dead Reckoning is to an extent. You have the first hour, which is unbelievably bad. The first, well, actually, for your comment about video packages, I was not joking. You might enjoy the first hour of Final Reckoning, because it is an hour of remember this and flashbacks to like all 7 first movies. And remember John Voight from the first movie, and remember Philip Seymour Hoffman in the third movie. Remember what happened in the 5th movie? Remember you did that, Tom Cruise? It's like an hour of patting themselves on the back for remember how class those movies were that we made the last 25 years. Remember all them, and it's dialogue and narration about those old movies, and it's just. And the stuff that isn't flashbacks is just the most choppy, rushed nonsense. And I mean, the first hour was excruciating. It was honestly a little bit embarrassing for how smug it kind of came off. And then the action starts, and then it's like fucking an action masterpiece. It's like the equivalent of when the Orient Express sequence begins. It has that same moment. Which again, if you've seen Dead Reckoning, Joe, by the end of Dead Reckoning, Tom Cruise needs to find that missing Russian submarine and get on it. Yeah. That's the way to think, right? That doesn't, like, that bit doesn't start until like an hour and a half into the new movie. It's like, get to it already. What is this pointless busy work? But again, the moment they start, that stuff starts, it's fantastic. There's 2 set pieces here that are absolutely wonderful, which I obviously won't spoil, but they're absolutely great. And like you said, Joe, the movie has this. The action set pieces are done so well that, obviously it has I can't believe Tom Cruise is doing this. This is fucking great. But even when Tom Cruise isn't really doing it, the action scenes are still great. And there's one in particular in here that I, don't say it out loud, I might have enjoyed the action scene where he wasn't really doing it more than the one where he actually was, which is a crazy thing to say, but they're both fantastic. They're both fantastic. God, I would nearly say if you're going to see it, just show up an hour late and don't sit through the first hour. And it is 2 hours 50, so it is even longer than Dead Reckoning. I don't know, honestly, that they need it to be. I think they, with some decent editing, these movies could have easily been like. I think there's a really great 2 hour movie in here, but it's like it get caught up in its own self-satisfied excess of remember all this class shit from way back when, wanking itself off. Once you get over that hump, then it's balls to the wall, Mission Impossible goodness. People taking masks off and Tom Cruise doing mad shit and running real fast. Spoiler, guys, Tom Cruise runs really fast in this movie as well, to prove how youthful and spry he is. Yes, he does that also in this movie. I would give it a 7 as well. I would say it's if you like Dead Reckoning, I would say Final Reckoning is more or less as good. The first hour notwithstanding is horrible, but I think like the last hour is stronger than Dead Reckoning. So there you go. So that is the end of Mission Impossible ? We'll see.
I feel like it surely will be. I mean, it surely will be the end for him. I think the big question is, does anyone give a shit if it doesn't have him proving to everyone that he's not old in it?
I mean, we've seen with Top Gun Maverick, even though that wasn't directed by Macquarie. I think Macquarie was involved.
He's a producer, sure, yeah.
I mean, Tom Cruise can still do these movies not under the Mission Impossible banner anyway, as we saw with Maverick. So maybe he'll do another Top Gun, or maybe he'll do something similar but a different IP. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I also watched The Conversation, which was my library movie that I took.
Oh yeah, your library trip.
The Conversation I somehow had never seen. Gene Hackman, Francis Ford Coppola, follow up to Godfather Part 2, or I think it came out the same year as Godfather Part 2. I don't know which one came first. So it's right up my alley. It's like a neo-noir about, like, Gene Hackman plays this like surveillance guy, but like even in the movie they're like, oh, you bug phones. No, I'm a surveillance expert or whatever. So he takes jobs, him and his team take jobs from like mystery customers. So he gets a job from the director to follow this couple. In the first like 20 minutes of the movie are kind of this a man and a woman walking around a square being recorded while Gene Hackman and his team kind of listen in. And then the kind of Gene Hackman's thing is, whatever the people who pay us do with the recordings is their business. We don't really look into that. But over the course of the movie, he kind of gets more and more personally involved in this specific case. And it being a neo-noir, there's an element of mystery at play in terms of who is the person who ordered the surveillance, why are they being surveilled, what's the mystery message that sends a shiver up Hackman's spine, why when he goes to deliver the package is the director not there. And so it being a neo-noir kind of goes in those directions. And you also get a young pre-Star Wars Harrison Ford, who was really good in it, playing a very different role. So he doesn't play the charming rogue. He plays almost kind of like a horror assistant, like spooky, scary, intimidating assistant to the director. And he definitely does not come off as the Han Solo archetype, which he's kind of known for now. Yeah, really, really good, really fantastic. Like I said, right up my alley. Really strong ending. And Hackman's absolutely tremendous. I don't know if he won awards for it or anything, but he's absolutely great in it. So yeah, recommend it. It's also of a time when you could make a really great movie at 1 hour 50 runtime as well. So it's very efficient. But yeah, absolutely tremendous. Recommend it if it pops up on streaming or anywhere,
or in your library,
or in your local library, which is where I got it. Oh, and of course, it's one of the 5 movies starring John Cazale, the great John Cazale.
Yeah. All of which were nominated for Best Picture, I think is right.
Which is an incredible run.
Jeez,
so
I need to watch. I think what I haven't seen
is The Conversation.
Yeah.
You need to complete your set list there. Yeah, I mean, Barry, I don't think would have seen any of his movies, but John Cazale, who's in the first 2 Godfather movies, Dog Day Afternoon, Conversation, and last one is Deer Hunter. In these all-time great movies, like Joe said, all Best Picture nominated, and then died young of like lung cancer.
Yeah, Meryl Streep, and then
married Meryl Streep, but like, but he's like so good in these. He's like a top tier actor as well in all of these movies. He's like standout good in Godfather 2 especially. He's absolutely excellent. Yeah, he big loss, and he's great in this as well. He plays like Gene Hackman's kind of second in command. Very, very good.
All right, 3 movies for you.
Hit us with him.
Watched Last Crusade the other day because it was on telly, and if it's on telly, I'll always watch it. I always watch it because
the best Indiana Jones movie.
I love it. I'm not reviewing that because we talked about it, but after that, I was like, let me rewatch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Just because I was like, I saw it on the Netflix. I was like, put it on. And you know what? It's not that bad, but it's just not very good either, I would say. It's kind of, the first half I quite enjoy. I think, the relationship with Ma is good. I think the actual kind of mystery at the heart of it, I just wasn't really into. Even putting aside the aliens thing, whether you're kind of into that or not.
Yeah.
I was like, who cares? Where's he got to find this thing? What's going to happen? What's going to go wrong? Like, they're stopping the communists from getting in. I'm like, Hitler getting his hands on the Holy Grail. You got me. Communists getting an alien skull or whatever. I don't care. Not interested. But yeah, it was all right. And then there's the infamous vine swinging scene, which is hilarious. Watching that back. So it's okay. It was okay. I don't know whether I might watch Dial of Destiny as well and see which one I can like. Not too sure.
I think I was defender of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull for a long time. I was like, it's not as bad as people make it. It's not as bad. And then I rewatched it just before Dial of Destiny came out, and I said, it's actually not that good. I don't think it's horrible still. It's like 2.5 star.
There's some good sequences and there's some good moments in it, but overall, not great.
Like you say, though, I didn't really ever care about what was happening in it, though.
Yeah, I wasn't into the mystery or any of it.
No.
Also watched on just happened to be on TV, The Beach That Makes You Old.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Old, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan movie. Not as kind of like stupid as the premise might lead you to believe. It's kind of
it gets there towards the end, but throughout it's pretty good. Yeah.
People on a beach can't work out why all these weird things are happening. There's just a few moments in it that are very like B movie where you're like, that's a bit weird thing to put in a proper film. And then the ending is very like, and now let's take 10 minutes to explain everything that was going on in case you were confused.
In a really stupid way.
Yeah. So I kind of enjoyed it in a way, but also a bit silly.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It can't be fun. It can't be fun.
It's silly good and silly bad, I would say.
Yeah.
Different parts. And then today watched the latest from Succession creator Jesse Armstrong. A new kind of standalone film for HBO called Mountainhead, which is basically about 4 kind of tech CEOs, kind of supposed to be almost like an Elon Musk, a Bezos, and a Zuckerberg going away together for the weekend, at the same time as the world is kind of being destroyed by AI. It's not very good. I did not enjoy it. It was kind of like all the worst bits of Succession put into one film.
Okay.
So like all this kind of like very like stupid kind of dialogue. They're constantly using this tech jargon and trying to say they're talking about like galaxy brain and I need to P-max the quantum of doom scroll and all that, like, and it's kind of accurate, like it's very accurate, like, and it's somewhat funny, but then there's none of those real funny lines that you'd get from like Succession when someone just being witty. It was kind of just them being stupid the whole time, and then it kind of just goes on and it doesn't really take you anywhere. I don't really know what the point was, but I was like 3 stars for me. No, I went 2.5. I went 2.5 because the ending. I went 2.5. So I cannot recommend it, but if it's on Now TV, if you want to watch something.
If it's just maybe.
I just thought, not good.
Well, I mean, it is disappointing when someone, when a creator, celebrated for a critical and commercial darling on HBO goes on to make something sort of flat and boring afterwards. But anyway, Paul, Last of Us finale this week. Big old snoozy time. Snoo. I got my floppy cap on. I've got my little candle in my little golden thing, and I've got my my walking stick as I head towards the bed. What did you make of it?
It was all right.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we've covered this season to death already, and I think a lot of the points we made early on have kind of carried through. God love him, but I mean, apparently, I mean, we're kind of reading into this ourselves, but apparently for aiming for the broadest audience, they have absolutely defanged what is a violent, gruesome story of hate, revenge, brutality, and ended up with this very middle of the road, happiest, positive, or most positive kind of take on what is ultimately supposed to be a story with very little positivity. Which is a shame, because I think that robs the story obviously robs it of its impact, but also robs kind of those few actual moments of levity when you're from the game. Now will eventually not seem so impactful, because kind of the season has been throughout mostly positive, which is maddening. Again, I think it's been okay. It's not a show that I necessarily look forward to, but I think there's been shows that I've watched over the years that I've been far more bored by, far more, dismissive of or not liked. Whereas this one, I think, has been mostly fine. But I mean, fine is such a come down from a show that you have the kind of highest hopes for, when really the layup was there based on I think Last of Us 2 story, the game, is absolutely tremendous, and I think it was a layup for them to have this really strong second season. Okay, they might have alienated some people, they might have turned some people off with just the shift in tone from season 1 to season 2. Season 1 is kind of this story of hope and this kind of father-daughter relationship progressing throughout the season. Then you have this big kind of shift at the end with the hospital. And then season 2 is kind of, like I say, this story of revenge and hatred. And they've kind of, it does feel like it's been neutered, and it feels like every episode has, Ellie coming in, hey, I'm a goofy goofball. What the fuck? Instead of, you have these story beats throughout, obviously episode 2, the main one, but even throughout, the Nora episode and various other happenings where you should feel the characters being more and more beaten down, more and more hopeless, more and more revenge driven. But I don't see that character development episode on episode. I mean, is there, from say episode 3 to episode 7, do we really see a big shift in the Ellie character's demeanor or?
No, I don't think so.
Not really. And that's kind of the problem, right? Is by now, by where we are now in the series, we should have seen already, if not a hint, we should have seen, the demeanor of the Ellie character really start to change, right? It's kind of, again, we're not spoiling anything here, but it's kind of a Walter White story in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I can see that.
I don't feel like we've gotten any of that really at all. And so I'm really wondering how season 3 is going to play out, because I don't feel like they've done the legwork for it, unfortunately. But, you know, I know that even in saying, it's fine, and then listing all the problems, I know that I'm like the highest person of all the people I know on the show. And that it's almost universally disliked now, which I think is such a shame, because like I said, I think it was an absolute layup, and they've Diana Rossed the penalty and missed the open goal by a good 5 yards.
Yeah, I think the point about watering it down, especially, is so true. I mean, I think I made this point a few weeks ago. It was like just this is. I realize it's not 2004 anymore. This is still HBO, and you don't have to make fucking. You don't have to make this for like the Netflix mindset of, oh, someone might be on their phone while they're watching this, so we have to make it as broad and obvious as humanly possible, which I thought there was a lot of. They added, or I guess they re-added. This was, I guess they said this was in the game. They cut it. It should have fucking stayed cut. This scene where like Ellie is like, we're like deep in the fourth quarter. We're in like the 99. The loading meter's at like 99%. She's like going to the aquarium where Abby is supposedly hiding, and then the storm. I thought that visual was really cool in the show. It recreated a very cool visual.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Where she's like riding in this tiny little rickety boat towards the aquarium, and the waves are tossing and the thunder is cracking. It looked great on the show, to be fair. And then she gets washed up out of her boat in the storm. And in the game, she basically has to swim to the aquarium. It's proper kind of like you're just so obviously like this is such a doomed, you're swimming into hell type visual, great stuff. In the show, they killed the momentum of her going to the aquarium to wash her up on the Seraphite home island, I guess it was, to have her have a run-in with them where she... I mean, I hate to be cinema sins about it, but she gets the most, like, Deus Ex Machina escape out of that situation. They're about to gut her like they do a soldier earlier in the season. They hear commotion at their village, and they say, leave her, and they walk off. It's like, I hate to nitpick. It was like, why wouldn't they just fucking shoot her? Like, if they're worried about some invaders on their island and they were about to do their little ceremony on her, why didn't they just kill her?
That was shit. That was shit.
And it also killed the momentum. It's like she's riding towards the thing that the hypothetically, I mean, obviously we playing the game know that she's not there, but like if you're watching this story for the first time, you're like, this is it. She's going to the aquarium. She's going to find her. This is the big payoff. And they stop it dead in its tracks to do this completely pointless scene that they had the common sense to cut when it was the game. I mean but that's just it, because they had to they had to really reiterate to you that this is crazy. This war is crazy. Oh, everyone in the city, whether whichever side of the conflict you're looking at, they're all crazy, violent people. It's like, man, I get it. It's like this is like a gruesome, violent fucking television program, but I feel like you're writing it for like children. It's so. Everything is so over-explained and hammered home. And as I think without getting into spoilers a few weeks ago, as I kind of alluded to, I don't know, and I had this vindicated by both my fiance and a buddy of mine at work who are non-gamers who were into the first season of the show. I mean, if you don't know the significance of the story they teased for season 3, you don't give a fuck about what they teased at the end of this episode, that you're going to see the same 3 days retold from Caitlin Deaver's character's perspective. What does that mean to you if you don't already know what it is? Nothing. It's like, oh, okay. Like what's the significance of seeing that? Again, it's cool, when they do it, and I think most people playing the game had that same reaction. But sunk cost fallacy. You weren't going to stop halfway through the game. You're like, okay, let's keep going, and it's worth it. But most people watching the show was like, oh, well, what? I don't know, rubbish. I liked bits and pieces of the season. I thought some episodes were great. I thought even the ones that I didn't like, they were okay, but a massive disappointment.
I asked as well, I wonder if the fact that it's a video game adaptation might be why they felt like they needed to dumb it down. Like, I don't agree with it, but I wonder if that was part of their thinking.
Maybe, yeah. So, and then they're also in this weird spot now where they have to kind of like, it's going to take like 2 years to produce this, but everyone has to look the same, because it's going to be the same period of time, but that probably won't be too bad. So I don't know. I mean, look, I'm going to watch season 3 because I mean, I'm bought in enough that I'm like, I want to see, Also, I think the content they're going to cover in season 3 is better than the like, if you're just talking about the source material, like that stuff is better than what they've done in this season, just in general. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah. There was talk this week that they were, or last week that they were thinking, oh, we might not get it done in 3 seasons. I'm like, fuck off, lads, fuck off. There is not 2 seasons of television left in the remaining content, I don't think, unless you're really going to drag the arse about it and take more like original stuff in there, you know. Anyway, elsewhere in TV guff, after the glowing recommendation of my co-host, I started The Studio. I am 3 episodes in. It's very fun. I'm really enjoying it. The first 3 episodes were great. I laughed at many points in those first 3 episodes. Plenty of chuckles. Some amusing, some good jokes, but also some amusing riffs on the state of modern, films and everything else. Yeah. This is the Apple TV Seth Rogen comedy about film studios, and he plays basically. I mean, it's my one gripe with it is that it's. I mean, he's just doing Seth Rogen. I mean, it's just what if Seth Rogen got the golden? What if he got the golden ticket to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style to run a studio as effectively the premise? Which would be funny. Because when you guys were describing it, I was like, it sounds funny, but also it sounds interesting. Oh, Seth Rogen kind of doing a different character. Because if he's the head of a studio, I mean, he can't just be doing Seth Rogen, but he is just doing Seth Rogen. It's kind of funny that he's doing this. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to getting into like Frasier style miscommunication sitcom scenarios when he's supposed to be the head of a like multi-million-dollar studio. But it is very, very funny. The celebrity cameos are great. It's like a classier version of Extras, to be honest. Unless they're not playing extremely over the top satires of themselves. They're a little bit more natural.
Well, the Extras probably had bigger stars in it. Ironically,
probably, I mean, these ones are
Les Dennis,
Eggers, Ross Kemp.
If it's not there.
But yeah, very much enjoying that. Looking forward to watching the rest of it. Likewise, Andor, I'm way behind, but I'm 4 episodes in, and it's super. I'm also behind on The Rehearsal. Joe, where are you on The Rehearsal?
Done, baby.
Oh, you're done. Paul, are you done?
Donezo.
Oh shit! I got 2 episodes to go.
Okay.
How did it end? What did you think of it?
It was
great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best. The best.
It's the best.
I don't want to spoil anything.
You can't. We can't talk about it.
We don't want to go into it, but it is. Yeah, it's. I'd say better than last season. Yeah, for me.
Yeah. No, I think we can say Joe stuck the landing. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
So watch it, Barry.
All right, hey, I'm going to get to it. Listen, I've only got 2 more episodes. I might try and squeeze them in tomorrow because I don't want to be spoiled on any of the stuff that happened. But
I mean, I find myself in a similar place to when I watched season 1, where it's like, can they do another season of this? What would you even do? But he did it. So I know better than to doubt this man. He's an absolute genius. His brain works like no other human in the world. I mean, he's utterly unique.
I tell you what, on the opposite end of the spectrum of Last of Us, I fired up the most recent Rick and Morty. Season 8 began last week.
Yeah.
Now that is a show where I'm kind of like, it used to be like appointment viewing. For like first 3 seasons, you're like, oh my god, no misses, great show. This is an essential watch. Then as the years have ticked by, it's been like, some highs, but
of course,
it's not consistent anymore. So a little bit, you temper your expectations. I will say though, season 8, episode 1, very good, very funny.
Yeah.
Very amusing riff on a sci-fi concept. Good fun. Did you see it, Paul?
No, I think I'm off the Rick and Morty.
You're off
train.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it. Even last season, I thought it was fine, but it's just it's one of those things where it became inessential, and I don't want to be stuck watching it forever and not really caring about it. So
this is it, yeah, and I think that's fair.
I don't even remember, but I remember making a decision last year where I was like, I don't think I want to watch this anymore.
Yeah, so but I'm sticking with it, and I'll report back. But off to a good start. And that's all the telly for me this week.
Well, Taskmaster and Poker Face both had good weeks, both back to form. I thought. Poker Face had a really fun twist on what they normally do. So it's kind of a Columbo style mystery show where you find out who done it at the start of the episode, and then the episode is about Natasha Lyonne's character kind of like piecing together what happened and nailing the perp. Here you have the episode set in a school with children. So it was like a very unique twist. It was very, very funny. Very, very good. So big thumbs up on that one. And then Taskmaster, I thought was a very, very fun episode as well. Maybe the best of the season so far. Do you see it, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Very much enjoyed Mantzoukas' destroying of all the prizes at the end. Very on brand.
Yeah, he's mad. He is mad.
He is properly bonkers. I like all the cast this season. I think they're all quite good.
Yeah, they're fun. No kind of weak.
No weak links. No Ardal O'Hanlon this season.
Oh, dear. Yeah,
poor Ardal.
I really like. I can't remember her name now, but the Muslim lady,
Fatia.
She's very Fatia. Yeah, she's like got the sweetest face. She looks like a baby face. And she goes, seriously, bruv,
you're shit. You're shit, bruv.
Shit, bruv, innit? Sounds like Will Ospreay, but it's like lovely brown kind of baby face. So fun.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, I think they're all good and all very different. But yeah, I think the tasks here were better and simpler as well. I mean, I've been complaining about that the last while, but I think this was very good. That's it for me. Like we talked about, a lot of the shows reaching finales means that Poker Face and Taskmaster are actually my only two ongoing shows that I'm watching. So that's why I'm watching The Americans now as well. I didn't watch any episodes this last week, but that'll become more of a thing that I watch now that all the TV's kind of ended or is ending. Joe, what else about you?
Yeah, a couple of bits. So Doctor Who ended yesterday with a regeneration, a shock regeneration of Gatwa. It's becoming a bit of a poison chalice, the Doctor role. It's like the England manager.
Yeah.
It's just people come in, they get a couple of years, no one likes it, they leave under a cloud. It's just, I don't know who can come in and save it. And they've now they've given it Billie Piper for 6 months. Who knows? I don't think she is actually technically the Doctor because she wasn't introduced as the Doctor. So she's going to be like a sort of interim version or something. But it's
interim Doctor.
It's a bit like, I don't know, it's like John Cena coming back and winning the world title. You kind of think, oh, are they that desperate? Come on.
Right.
So actually, although saying that, this second series was actually quite good. I thought his first series was quite weak. The second one has been pretty good, generally.
Right.
It's a shame. It's also up in the air whether Disney Plus, who are currently producing it, are going to renew it for a new season, or will they go back to the BBC to produce it, or co-produce it, or something else, or will it get cancelled? Who knows? Anyway, they need to restore the feeling, very much so. Very much so. Then we also watched Four Seasons, which is a new Netflix series with Tina Fey, Steve Carell, bunch of other wonderful actors. The man who I always think is called Carmen Sandiego, but I think his name is Coleman Domingo.
The wonderful Coleman Domingo, wonderful actor.
Wonderful Carmen Sandiego. It's about a sort of bunch of 50-year-olds who go on holiday together. A couple different couples. They go on a holiday, and it's set across 4 different cities. I think there's 8 episodes across the 4 seasons, and it's very fun. It's quite nice. It's sort of a bit of a change of pace, having a kind of older cast, and that's kind of middle-aged thing.
Yeah.
They're sort of past. It's nice. We just finished it, but it's quite an enjoyable series. I would recommend checking that one out.
Very nice.
Quite funny, but yeah, just a nice show.
Yeah. In terms of the games, then I'm coming to the end of Oblivion. I've done all the guild quests apart from Dark Brotherhood, which I'm nearly finished. Done all the Thieves Guild, Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, Arena. Done them all. I'm about 73 hours in now, so I've got my money's worth out of my free game. Still very much enjoying it. Maxed out a few of my stats now, so I'm fucking killing people with 1 arrow or 1 spell. Still very, very fun. I definitely think I like Oblivion more than Skyrim. I think it's just a more fun game to play. And then I'm again looking at what might be next. I'm thinking I'm going to play the Indiana Jones game next. I think that's
lovely.
What makes the most sense for me. So looking forward to that. And then I started reading a book as well. I'm reading Moonflower Murders by Anthony Horowitz, which is another in those line of books that are not, I don't think, really aimed at me, but that I seem to read a lot of for whatever reason, where it's kind of a murder mystery where the protagonist is like a middle-aged lady who, in this case, is like works in book publishing. And this book is actually a sequel. I didn't realize, but it's a sequel in the way that like Knives Out 2 is a sequel to the first one, where they don't really follow on from each other. But she gets dragged into a missing person and a murder from a few years ago, and she got to figure out what's been going on. So I'm like 60 pages in, quite enjoying it. It's good fun little book. Anthony Horowitz is an author who I used to read his books when I was a kid. He used to write a lot of children's books. So I'm trying to get into his adult books, and it is quite well written. It reminds me a lot of Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club. Has the same kind of tone to it, same kind of style to it. So quite enjoying that. So yeah, getting a lot of use out of my library card. Thumbs up on the little library.
We love to see it.
The library gets my honk of the week.
We love the library.
So that's it.
Excellent. I think that's going to do it for this bumper edition of the show. Thanks very much, listeners, for tuning in to this lengthy one.
Oh, we're taking back the meme, folks. We're taking the meme back.
Yes, there we go. Oh my God. Excellent. Very good. Okay. And with that, listeners, you're everyone's favorite feature.
Artwork. I'm going to say Artwork Hall of Fame. That one.
Yes, that's very good. Yeah, I hope that we need that format to take off. Alrighty, listeners, thank you very much for tuning in. ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to pop us an email. Also where you can go to check out Fantasy in real time. High up some trays. What would you do if you were in our shoes? Well, if you were me, you'd be sitting back with your feet up. But we'll be back next week with more Fantasy League and various other fresh new state of telly, I would say, because we've wrapped up a couple of shows here this week. So yeah, thanks for listening, folks. It's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from Paul.
Oh, goodbye.
It's goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.